Okay, Toastmaster Daisy, you can speak now.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to everyone. An awesome Friday to all of you, fellow Toastmasters. I acknowledge the presence of District 23, the District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia Lactuala, District 20, PQD DTM Khalid Abdallah, District Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, and to our Division A Director, Distinguished Toastmaster MD Reddy. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, welcome to 2021 Division A Speech Contest Training. I am Toastmaster Daisy Faborian, your Chief Sergeant at Arms. I would like to request everyone to observe and adhere of our virtual meeting rules. Kindly make sure that your device or devices, if you are using two devices, are well charged and your internet connection is stable. Please be aware of your surroundings and try to eliminate any background noise. Mute your microphone if someone is speaking, and make sure that your audio is audible and use headphone if necessary. Speakers and facilitators, please prepare your second device and be assertive in case of technical failure may occur. Stay seated and present. Restrain your movement. If you need to move, please turn off your video. Please refrain from any unnecessary side chat in the chat box. Disable your camera if you want to drink or eat. If you can rename your screen name, it will be appreciated, or else we will do the renaming in your behalf. Thank you and good morning, leaders. Before we proceed, I would like to introduce our MCs for today's event. Our MC number 1, a certified public accountant by profession, working as chief accountant at ACOM Arabia Company in Al Khobar, Saudi Arabia. A member of PICPA, Saudi Arabia Eastern Province Chapter, and serves as the current chairman for professional development. An active Filipino community leaders and volunteer. A Toastmaster for almost 4 years now. Member of 4 club within Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Recently hailed as the humor speech champion in the Saudi Arabia Toastmaster Annual Conference. And please welcome Toastmaster Ricardo Tuijan Jr. And our second MC for today's event, he is a community volunteer in the eastern region of Saudi Arabia and a vice president for external affairs of Overseas Filipino Worker Mighty Eagle, a non-profit organization and assist to the needs of districts OFW in the region. Hosted several Filipino community events, including the Philippine Embassy Affairs and others. During leisure time, he is enthusiastic to play sports like badminton and volleyball. Has been a Toastmaster for almost 4 years and currently a District 20 evaluation speech champion. This year, 2020, finalist to the Saudi Arabia SATAC International Speech Contest. 2019, semi-finalist to the Saudi Arabia SATAC Evaluation Speech Contest. I would like to call now the persons who will responsible to give us proper and smooth conduct of our program. Let us all welcome our masters of ceremonies. Let's all welcome Toastmaster Jeffrey Aquino and Toastmaster Ricardo Tuijan Jr. Thank you. Welcome, sirs.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you, Toastmaster Daisy. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and friends.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, and good morning to you, partner Ricky.
Good morning, partner Jeffrey.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to District 20's training for the contests, judges, and chief judges.
Definitely, indeed, a great time for us to be geared on the next contest season, right?
Yes, the World Championship of Public Speaking has just ended last month, and now we're already starting for the next year's events.
Definitely, I am really ready to be on the contest.
Yes, I am so delighted that the division has tried to initiate this kind of event. I think the first in the district and among the other districts in the nearby countries. So I'm so happy that we are going to have this kind of training and workshop for all of you aspirants to be the next champion, the next judge, or maybe the next chief judge, partner, right?
I guess I'll be the judge this year because being a contestant is never an easy task.
Yeah, I still remember the first time I joined the contest. I don't even know how I was judged in that contest and how did I win?
Same here.
So today you just have to sit back, relax, and try to savor every single word that our distinguished panelists will be telling us, the secrets, the tips, and the tricks for today's sessions.
I agree, partner. So, ladies and gentlemen, please get your pen and paper ready with you because we will be learning a lot, being a speaker or a contestant, being a judge, and being a chief judge.
Yes. How do you think are you able to win in that contest that you joined in, partner?
Until now, I don't think that I really have the formula in my hand or even in my mind how to win a contest. I just speak from my heart, and definitely the judges will certainly know if I am really certainly speaking from my heart, and real emotions will come out. And once they have related into your story, surely they're gonna mark their ballots with the highest ratings.
Well, I believe they keep on telling that communication is the art and the process to convey a message. So I think if we were able to convey that message, regardless what kind of speech it is, then I believe we can capture their hearts and eventually the hearts of the judges too, and see our names in the final ballots, right?
I agree. So thank you very much, judges of District 20. You made me a champion on your district. Thank you so much, and I love you.
Well, today, partner, it's a very important event, and we are honored that this special event has been held and originated and organized by someone very special. And I would like you to please do the honors of introducing our event chair for today.
Thank you very much, partner Ricky. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinctive pride and a privilege to introduce to you the event chair, the current Area 5 director, the past president of the Adhari Toastmasters Club, the current president of the PGF Toastmasters Club. And he believed that in doing ordinary things in an ordinary way. Manager by profession, a certified counselor with exposure into neuro-linguistic programming, member of the Kerala Clinical Counseling Association, and a faculty member of FDC programs, transactional analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together with a virtual applause to Toastmaster Uni Krishnan, the event chairman.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It was quite inspiring. Thank you once again. District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia Rakrawala, Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, other District 20 members, and Division A Director, Distinguished Toastmaster MB Reddy, organizing team members, Division A ExCom members, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Wish you all a lovely Friday morning. Friday is important because normally on Fridays people don't appear so early on the screen. I welcome you all to the speech contest training program powered by Division A District 20 Toastmasters. Being a Toastmaster, I realized that all Toastmasters have growth mindset. Do you agree with me? We all have growth mindset. That means we are on the path of continuous improvement. We want to sharpen our skills. We want to learn new skills. And we believe learning does not stop the moment we leave schools or universities. According to me, the actual learning starts once we leave formal educational institutions. I hope everybody will accept this fact. Even I experienced this in my life. I started learning the moment I came out of my universities. And we are ready to accept failures. That is one of the distinguishing factors of Toastmasters. We are ready to accept failures and learn from our failures. And we are in pursuit of excellence. We want to become good at anything we do. And we have the will to win. But according to me, this will to win is not enough. It remains stagnant if you have only the will to win. But we should have the will to prepare to win. Preparation is very important. And one should prepare to win. And how can we achieve this? The answer is training. We should undergo training and learn from the learner. Today we have a galaxy of intellectuals, masters in their fields, who can train us and transform us. As you immerse yourself in this training program, you will learn the requirements and commitments needed of a judge, as well as valuable information on how to meet those requirements. The judge's thought process and requirements. By knowing how judges judge and what they are looking for in speeches, you will be able to craft your speech so it fits well within the judging criteria. We are confident that this training program will make this Friday not just wonderful, but also a day full of learning. The organizing team members have worked hard with full dedication, determination, and discipline to make this event happen. I appreciate the efforts of our Division A Director, Distinguished Toastmaster MB Reddy, in leading and guiding all the team members. I assure you that this program shall be full of exuberance and excitement and will create purposeful learning for all. Over to you.
Can you please unmute MCs?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Unikrishnan. That was so inspirational. At least we have a heads up for today's event. And now, fellow Toastmasters and friends, we have our distinguished guest for this morning. She says that, she quoted one statement which says that they say it's not the destination, but it's the journey that counts. And it's been almost a decade since she embarked on a milestone of her journey by joining the Toastmasters International. The sights and sounds along the way have indeed made her journey the stuff of dreams. This organization has a lot to offer, and let's keep on learning. Let's keep aspiring, and let's keep inspiring. She's been fortunate enough to be entrusted with the various leadership roles throughout her tenure with Toastmasters. Having served at the club, area, and division has given her an opportunity to be a team player and a team leader. She's humbled to receive the Best Division Director Award for the year 2017 to 2018, the Best YLP Coordinator for 2019 in Kuwait, and the DTAC Vice Chair for 2019 to 2020. She served as Immediate Past Program Quality Director, a recipient of Excellence in Program Quality Director at the 2021 International Convention. Wow. She came from a service background where she helped the patients with a comprehensive reformation, a physiotherapist by profession who believes in holistic rehabilitation of her patients. She's currently serving as District 20's director. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, let's all put our hands together for our District 20 Director, distinguished Toastmaster Alifia Lakdawala.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Jeffrey and Toastmaster Ricardo. A handsome duo indeed, and you all have really, began the meeting with the right beat and the right vibe has set in. I think the entire audience is quite amazed with your energy and the way you all have just taken the meeting so ahead. So kudos to you both. And it's lovely to see that both the MCs are in one window and physically present. And we hope that our members would be going to physical meetings very soon. On that note, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Program Quality Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, IC Division C Director, Division D Director, the area directors under Division A, and the mastermind, or not the mastermind, but the person who's behind this particular event, who has supported our Division A Director, DTM Reddy, and the event chair, Area 5 Director, Toastmaster Unikrishan. Good morning, members of District 20. Good morning, presenters, organizing committee. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. After the club officers training, this is the most important training which we look in as an education session or an education path which we have to give to members. And I think seeing the entire preparations going around, the presenters list and what all is lined up in the agenda, I think our program quality director and Division A team has fairly done a great job in organizing this particular event, which is so important for our members. Members contest is just that time of the year where we put our skills to test. And every year we have to learn some new tricks. I think the finest has been chosen for District 20. The winners have been chosen, and I thank all the presenters who are here today to share their valuable experience with our members. It's important for us to understand what a judge looks into the ballot and how we can ace that speech or that evaluation or that paper topic. So enjoy this particular event, and I see that we have a lot of members in the XCOM supporting. So really great job, because y'all are the people who are eligible to judge this year. And this is very important for y'all to understand what criteria are important and how we can judge keeping the core values in mind. So good luck to the entire organizing team and the attendees who have come here today. This is definitely going to be a eventful, learning, inspiring morning, afternoon. Thank you, MCs. Y'all are doing a great job. Continue to do that. Back to y'all.
Thank you very much to our district director, DTM Alifia Lagdawala. Indeed, it was really a challenging year, but definitely you have geared yourself to be the pivot of those leaders, formidable leaders, I should say. For the meantime, we will be listening to the message of such an energetic man. Every time I see him on the Zoom platform, it exudes an exuberant presence with no other than an immediate past club growth director, the president of Active Mind Toastmasters Club, the president of Bahrain Debaters Toastmasters Club, immediate past president of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, member of BAPCO Toastmasters Club. I'm running out of breath, ladies and gentlemen. The St. Paul Toastmasters Club and Tamakan Advanced Toastmasters Club. His purpose in life is to lead his kids by a good example of a father and to be followed. That's why he is in the Toastmasters. I think that I could get that too. Without much further ado, with full energy from me to you, DTM Khalid Abdallah, the District 20 Program Quality Director.
Wow, thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies, and specifically Toastmaster Jeffrey, for the lovely introduction. District 20 Director, DTM Alifia Lagdawala. In his absence, District 20 Club Growth Director, DTM Khalid Jalal, who could not make it, I think, today. He said he would try. Office members, division directors, and to be very specific, the man of the hour is DTM MB Reddy, Division A Director, and the other man of the hour, the Area 5 Director, the chairperson for this event, Toastmaster Uni Krishnan. All of the members of District 20 and beyond, good morning and blessed Friday to all of you. I have a question for you. Why do we compete? We have around the globe in Toastmasters International, we have more than 300,000 members, and only one gets crowned to be the world champion of public speaking. So why do we compete? Let me give you a little bit of an insight on the contestant journey. Any contestant would go and write his speech or her speech, would go to his or her mentor, would rehearse the speech, would come on the day of the contest, and then someone, maybe a sergeant arm like me, would say, how are you doing? And then judges would start their own way of promoting one over the other. And then majority of them fail. So why do we compete? Why do we have a contest? Why are we having even this whole workshop? That's the question that I should be having everyone in this room asking. It's all about the journey, and it's not about the destination. It's not about the winning of the contest. Yes, it would give us a little bit of some self-satisfaction, return of investment. I've been here attending meetings, becoming a better version of myself. But that's not the point. We need to redefine winning. Winning is what I see in front of me right now. Winning is the eagerness to become a better version of ourselves. Winning is all about the journey and not the destination. So thank you, all of you who came here today, early morning, to redefine your winning, to know about judging, how to be judged and how to judge, to know the tricks of champions of the district. We have many presenters who are here lining up to give you some of their magic on how the formula of winning. But what's important is what's happening behind the scene. The organizing committee, led by Toastmaster Uni Krishnan and DTM MB Reddy. I know that DTM MB Reddy wants this to be over because I've been nagging on his head day and night. But regardless of that, I think the excellence behind this event and the backing as well of the PQD team, the PQD training coordinators, DTM Jahangir Khan and DTM Huna Al-Aqab. And this time as well, I have activated the contest coordinators, DTM Geeta Bunachami and DTM Fatima Abdo. And of course, DTM Kajitan is always there as well. And all of the other presenters, DTM Manila, I can see DTM Manila also smiling. So we have an arsenal of presenters in front of you today to enrich you with a better education for the journey of your contest. Remember, let's redefine winning. Let's enjoy our Toastmasters journey regardless of the destination. Thank you so much, everyone. And back to you, Master and Sir.
Wow, thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid. That was so inspiring. And yes, we are here to learn about judges, judging, chief judging, and the tips and tricks for the contests in order to win. Well, our next dignitary is, of course, the brains behind this, along with the PQD. He is working with ALBA as Senior Operational Excellence Specialist. He's a double master's, specialized in analytics and Six Sigma. He's a community volunteer and actively participates in social welfare activities for the underprivileged workers. He hosted several community events under Telugu Kala Samiti Bahrain. He plays badminton during leisure times. And as a Toastmaster, he's been a member since 2010, the past Area 39 Director, the current Krypton Advanced Toastmasters Club President, member of TKS and First Diva Clubs, sponsor of Krypton Innovative Toastmasters Club. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, let's all welcome our Division A Director, distinguished Toastmaster, MB Reddy. Are you ready?
Thank you, Ricky. I'm ready and then ready also. I would like to acknowledge our District 20 Director, DTM Alifia Lakdwala, our District 20 Program Quality Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, and then the absence of DTM Khalid Jalal, our Club Growth Director, and then fellow division directors, and then my division XCOM area directors, all area directors, and then all dignitaries and guests who are present in today's meeting. Welcome you all for today's wonderful meeting. Set the tone nicely by our both duo twin MCs. This is one of the innovative concept that I can see that the vibe is set for this meeting. I would like to congratulate all the working team behind this event, starting with the PQD team as well as our Division A team. They joined hands together to bring you this event. Today we have, as our PQD said, that arsenal of presenters. Some of them I know personally, and then I learned to know some of the presenters also. And then we worked behind the scenes very hard with the organizing team to bring you, hope it will be the best learning today. I wish you all good luck and then take advantage of this event. Back to you, MCs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Reddy. Well, partner, I think our guests and friends should have to prepare their coffee or tea because the main event is about to start.
How about serving the main menu for this event?
Yeah, I hope so. Well, before that, may I ask you, have you been invited to be a judge in any contest?
Yes, I had a privilege to be invited as one of the judges just for the club because I will never be able to compete for the area if I'll be accepting judging in the area contest.
Well, I have been invited also before, but I think I was invited to be a judge in a Toastmasters contest even before I took oath as a Toastmaster. How was that?
Lucky you, partner.
Well, I think things are about to change today because we will learn how to do things the right way. And I believe that we should all be qualified judges before we accept any invitation to be part of any contest. Why?
Why do you think so? That's the question. Because I think the contestant's fate is in your hands.
Yes,
so
definitely.
You can make or break a great public speaker.
Yes, we don't want to be that person who destroys someone else's dream, right?
Definitely, partner.
So why do we have to introduce the
And that's why we have this. DTM Anel Lobo has been a member of Toastmasters since 1999 and actively taken part in the club and district level contests. He holds triple DTM. He has helped charter several clubs and an active mentor to several members and give level to kids. His passion is to empower members by conducting workshops and seminars, and today he shall be presenting a 45-minute interactive workshops on judges training. Ladies and gentlemen, a big bang for DTM Anil Lobo, the judging workshop presenter.
Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you, Ricky. I think the first thing we need to do is we need to vote on who is going to be the best MC. Is it Jeffrey or Ricky? Judges, are you ready? Do you want to cast your ballots? No, I'm just kidding.
Don't make our laptop crash.
Excellent. Today, we're going to be doing a judges training. I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes explaining to you what are some of the things, the purposes of the contest, what are the roles and responsibility of the judges and the obligations. We're going to go through some of the barriers to being a good judge. And at the end, let's review the ballots. Now, as I said, this is going to be very interactive. So interactive means I'm going to ask questions. And I want to make sure you guys are awake and alive so that there'll be a few polls to make sure that I'm not talking to the air and my connection is good. Okay, great. So let's start. First, what is the obligations of a judge? Judges have an obligation, right? Now let's understand. What do you think are the obligations of a judge? Now, if in the chat box, let's start typing away. What do you think? The judges have an obligation to whom? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask the tech moderator to start sharing the screen. So we're going to have a chance to go through the slide presentation while I'm talking, and it's going to be side to side. So you guys will be able to view it. So can I have the tech moderator pop up the first screen? Yes, thank you very much. Here we go. Let's get to the next slide, please.
Right. No, not this one. Judges training, Anil Lobo presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, did maybe more.
Excellent. Anyway, you guys can use the chat box, and as long as it's not disabled, let's write down what are some of the obligations of the judges. Great. Okay. Now let's start with the judges' obligations. Is that screen popped up or not yet? Okay, great, great. As it's coming up. Now let's start with the purposes of a speech contest. Now we know a speech contest is basically an opportunity for us to have competitive speaking. And this is an educational program, not only for our members, but also for the public. Think of it like as a TEDx program where we're going to draw people in. And finally, it is an opportunity for us to observe proficient speakers. Now, with this said and done, let's get to some of the judges' obligations. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, these are the three purposes of a speech contest. And the next slide. Yes, next. Now, as I asked you, what are the obligations? Now, as a judge, you have four primary obligations. The first obligation is to the contestants. And there's a reason why this is a major obligation. A contestant has taken a lot of time preparing for his presentation. He has gone to his mentor. He's probably taken a coach to help him on the club level, area level. He has spent lots of time writing a speech, preparing a speech. So the contestant has an obligation to have a good judging. Second thing is the Toastmasters International. Now, as a Toastmasters International, our reputation is at stake. We are supposed to have good events, fair events, events that are showcased to all club members across the globe. So that's the second obligation to the Toastmasters International. Our next slide tells us the audience. The audience members are sitting by and watching people compete. Now imagine you go to the Olympics and there's a nice boxing tournament and you decide that the winner should have won. And then lo and behold, the judges have given the person who you thought was second or third place. How would you feel? You would feel that you wasted time, right? Watching this event. That's a third reason. The audience must feel that they have benefited by attending the club contest. And finally, the fourth reason is we as judges, we as Toastmasters, we have an obligation on ourselves to have a good, fair event. So these are the 4 reasons. Now let's understand what is the difference between judging and evaluation. Now, somebody who's new to Toastmasters, preferably less than 6 months, you may either unmute yourself or put in the chat, what is the difference between judging and evaluation? Is there anyone who's just like 3 months, 6 months in the program? Okay, somebody said unbiased judgment on the contestants. Okay, that's great. Okay, now let's understand. The next slide, please. Judging is basically to select a winner. You have a first place, a second place, and a third place. There's no ambiguity on this. So as a judge, you're selecting and your job is to select a winner. And that is why when you fill in the ballots, you will fill third place, second place, and first place. Evaluation, on the other hand, is appraisal. Not only is just appraisal, it is giving support to the person and giving them advice so that they can become better communicators, so that they can use this evaluation to better themselves. Today, we're going to be looking at judging. So you're not going to be giving appraisals, you're not going to be giving advice, you're going to select a winner. Next slide, please. So the judge's decision is confidential and is final. So once you make a decision, you hand it over to the chief judge or to the tally counters in this case, and your role and responsibility is over. At this point, please destroy your little slip of paper, and we'll go through the ballots in a while. Now that we understood that we're going to be selecting winners, next question, what are some of the good judging criteria? Now let's understand. Can anyone put in the chat group, what are the qualities of a good judge? There are 5 qualities that I'll be going through, and I see that some of you have already been putting in the chat. The first is to be accurate. Accuracy is very important. To be accurate means when you shoot an arrow, you have a focus, you have a target, and you shoot right at the bullseye. And the same thing with the judge. You have to be accurate. To be accurate, you have to be fair also. To be fair means to be equal. You're not going to judge somebody just because they are native speakers, or somebody because it's a woman, or somebody just because they happen to be from your own club, your own area, your own division, or from your community. So you have to be accurate and you have to be fair. You have to have a level playing ground. The third is to be trustworthy. Now, why you have to be trustworthy? Imagine you have a speeding ticket and you go to court, and you see in the court, people are getting away with their speeding ticket because they have quote unquote wasta. And you know what wasta is in the GCC. So what do you think? Do you think the judge is trustworthy? You know, the judge can be bought off, right? You lose trust in the judicial system. Then you'll go out and you'll break the rules because you feel that the rules don't apply to you. So you have to be accurate, you have to be fair, you have to be trustworthy. And what is the next criteria? Yes, you have to be knowledgeable. Knowledgeable means you need to know the ballot. You need to know the judging criteria. You need to also know the rule book. And those of you who do not know what the rule book is, please download the latest one, or it'll be shared to you by the end of today's meeting. And finally, the fifth is you have to be a good listener. You have to listen with your ears and observe and watch with your eyes. I have seen in some contests, the judges are busy with checking their WhatsApp messages in between the judging. You just get distracted and you lose focus. So when you are taking part as a judge, make sure not only you're accurate and you're fair, not only you're trustworthy, but you're knowledgeable and you're a good listener. So now that we have understood this, let us go to the next stage. What are some of the barriers to objectivity? Now, before we can get to that, I'm going to have a small little quiz. Are we guys ready with our first quiz? And the first quiz is, can we have the first poll? What is grounds for contestants to be disqualified? Can we launch that poll, please? Is there a poll moderator who can launch the poll? Yes. So here, what are the grounds for contestants to be disqualified? Come on, let's start voting. There's no wrong answer, no right answer. You can choose multiple if you want. Okay, I see eligibility, I see timing. So, okay, originality, Stepping out of the speaking area. Oh, nice. Gonna have a few more seconds. Again, guys, this is a learning program. So if you think you're not sure, you can still click and see what's the right answer and what's not. All right, so let's close the polls in another 5 seconds. Great. Now let's see what has everyone said. Stepping out of the speaking area. That's done by 9% of the audience. Eligibility, originality, timing, and I also see wearing the DTM pin. Great. All those who said eligibility, give yourself a little pat on your back. You're right. That is grounds for disqualification. If you're not eligible at any stage in the contest, you're out. Originality, yes, that's also important. Only 16% said that. That's good. That's another good reason for disqualification. If you don't have original content, more than 25% is plagiarized, or not only 25, any plagiarism or out of the originality, you're disqualified. And yes, timing is a very big factor. Those of you who talked about stepping out of the speaking area, that unfortunately is not grounds for disqualification. Neither is wearing a pin. You cannot be disqualified for that, but you can dock points. So now let's understand, now that we have gone through this quiz, we are understanding a little bit more, we are learning a little bit more about, judges training. So now let's understand now some of the barriers to objectivity. So let's see, the first thing is the speaker's position. Now there are 7 barriers that I consider to be very crucial, and Toastmasters has identified them. The first barrier is speaker's position. Generally, what do? When a speaker comes and starts speaking, we say the first position, that's the benchmark. I'm going to evaluate him, and I've given him 75 points. Now, speaker number 2 is going to be gauged on that same position. So I'll say he was 75 points. The next one is better, 85, not as good, 65. And that's not the right way. That is a barrier. So what I would tell you to do is don't look at the speaker's position, whether he was the first, second, third, or even the last. Gauge them by the content of the speech. Put the number of points. And if possible, do not add that final value, the final tally number, so that you will not be using that as a benchmark to evaluate future speakers against speaker number 1 or against the last speaker or any other speakers. The second barrier is we want to champion the underdog. Now, this is very sad. And I tell you why. We keep saying, oh, you know what? He's not a native speaker. English is not his language. Or she's coming for the very first time. Let's give her a chance. And this usually happens at the club level. What you're doing is you're basically setting them to fail at a much higher level. Do not worry about them being the underdog. Over a period of time, if they stay in the Toastmasters program, I can assure you they will become better speakers. And one day, based on their credit, based on the laurels of their success, they will win the club level, the area level, division level, and who knows, maybe one day at DTAC too. So don't try to champion the underdog. The underdog will, through the Toastmaster program, rise up and improve and become better. Now, what is the halo effect? The halo effect is, wow, DTM Khalid Abdullah, he's a dynamic speaker. That's it. He's in the top 3. That's called the halo effect. The halo effect is before even the speaker utters the first word, you have him put on a pedestal. And you say to yourself, he definitely is going to perform really well. And you're giving him brownie points just because he's taking part. I've not heard so-and-so DTM take part in a contest in a long time. I am sure they are ready to rock the stage. Our club level, this person is the best. Let's avoid these halo effects, because what we're doing is the right candidate, the best candidate is not going forward. And this brings us to the next one. The next is the reverse halo effect. Reverse halo is just the opposite. We're like, oh my goodness, I don't know why he or she is taking part. Did you listen to them at the club level? Oh, goodness gracious, because no one took part in the contest, they're moving forward. It's such a shame at the area level we're having such a candidate. No, don't use that. That is the reverse halo. Reverse halo means you're already prejudging the person based on your past experience at either the club level or you watched them at some other, or her at some other event. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt for what they're performing today. It doesn't matter his position. It doesn't matter whether he's new. It doesn't matter whether she's really a great speaker or a novice speaker. Let's look at them based on today's judging. And this brings us to the next one. Second time around, I've seen this happen a lot of time at the club level and sometimes at the area level. What do? We say, this person has taken part in every club level contest. Humorous, table topics, international speech, every contest. Let's give them a chance, at least in this contest. And that's, in a way, not the right method. As a judge, you're not going to be looking at whether they've taken part multiple times in multiple contests over the last few years. You're looking whether they have met the objectives today at the club level, at the area level, or the division level for the category they're taking part. And the sixth one is, it's not the norm. In our club, this is the way we do it. Our evaluations is done this way. Our humorous speeches are this way. And at the area level, I'm a judge and I'm so sorry, but this is not the norm. This is not the way it's done. No, don't look at it based on what's the norm in your club level or in Kuwait or in Bahrain. Look at it based on Toastmaster ballot form. It's a contest. You're judging based on the objectives. And finally, prejudices and personal preferences take precedence sometimes. Now, where are some of the prejudices? It could be cultural. It could be societal. It could be also the fact that, they've used humor, which is very ethnic to a certain ethnic community, and I couldn't understand it. So we have to understand that these prejudices do creep into our judging. It's very difficult to overcome this. Now I'll talk about some of the criteria. It could be language. I could not understand. He had a very strong Arabic accent, or his South Indian accent was too difficult for me to hear. His humorous speech was not funny to me. I'm from Bahrain and I couldn't understand German humor. So we should not let these personal preferences, look at the objectives. Maybe for those points, you might dock them few points because it did not tickle your humorous, personality, but we should avoid these cultural biases. Language could be another issue. So for this reason, very importantly, to overcome these challenges, these barriers, we should know our judges' rules. These rules prevent misconception. Now let's see, next slide. How many of you have seen a judge's ballot, especially those of you who are new to Toastmasters less than a year? How many of you have seen a judge's ballot? Either raise your hand or use your icon, a thumbs up icon, or even a handshake. Let me see, I'm looking at the screen and I see everyone is, okay, I can see, yes, Rosen, Farouk, quite a few, okay, great. Those of you who have not seen this judge's ballot, it's time for you to download this, and don't worry, we're going to go through that in a while. Now let's go to the next slide. Let's see what some of my guides, and this is again Toastmaster guides on how to be a good judge. For one, take notes. Have a little writing pad beside you. There is no rule in Toastmasters that said you have to use only the ballot form and make your notes on that. Have a little writing pad. And in the writing pad, you can take notes as the speaker is speaking so that you can translate what you have on this writing pad to the judge's ballot. So taking notes can help you, especially if there are certain things that you want to remember as you go along. Use the suggested points that Toastmaster has given and some additional points, the next slide please, and some additional points that you might want to have if you're going to use that as a benchmark for all the speakers. Like, let's give an example. For humorous speech, you want to see, is the audience responding? Are they giving thumbs up? Right now in Zoom, this is quite difficult. So you have to see how you're going to be giving these additional suggestions. Can I have the next slide, please? How we're having these suggested point value. Now, again, remember, any point value that you're using has to be consistent for all the speakers. Don't just say, oh, you know what? He's a native speaker, so I expected him to do that. And I'm going to give him points only if he uses good grammar, if his pronunciation is good. No, we're not going to be biased towards one speaker because he's a native speaker and be less on somebody else. You're going to use a level playing field. Obviously, a native speaker will speak with native English, proper use of grammar, pronunciation, the diction, and everything is going to be great. But we're not going to use that against him or for him. There are a lot of plus and minuses, and we will touch upon this as we go in the next couple of slides. Now, I'm going to be using the International Judges Ballot for us to understand how we're going to be judging. Now, in all judging, we have got 3 criteria. The first is we have the content. The second, we have delivery. And the third, we have language. This is consistent for international speech. This is consistent for humorous speech and for table topics. The slight differences for evaluation contest. And let's go through the international ballots for us to understand what is there, the point system in each category. So let's start with the first. Next slide, please. Content. Now, in the international speech, 50% of the point system is for speech content. And that is broken down into 3 parts. We have the development, the effectiveness, and the speech value. Now let's look at speech development. What does speech development imply? It talks about the structure. Is there an opening, a body, a conclusion? If you found the opening was weak, you're not going to give him the full 20 points. Somewhere in maybe between 14 to 19. If you found the opening and the conclusion to be weak, but his organization was good transition from one idea to the other, then you might give him anything between 9 to 13 points. How was his supporting material? Did he use stories, anecdotes, testimonial? Did he use some statistics, facts, and figures and quotations? If he used all that, you're going to give him more points. It all depends on how his speech was developed and how he was transitioning from one idea to the other. That gives him the full 20 points. The second is effectiveness. What was the purpose of his speech? Was he able to achieve it? In other words, was it emotional to the heart? That is an inspirational speech. Or was it intellectual to the mind? And that is a persuasive speech. Was it a right balance between emotional and persuasive? You see how the balance was. If he was really great, he had good interest and a great reception, the audience was all engrossed. And again, this is difficult to find in Zoom meetings. You're going to give him the full 15 points. And it can drop down all the way down to as low as 0 to 5 points if you found it was not effective. The third is the speech value. That's got 15 points too. Was it an original idea? Was it a great idea? Or was it just one of those recycled ideas? And this happens in humorous speeches. We have wife bashing, husband bashing, boss bashing, very mundane, very routine topics. But imagine something out of the blue. You're going to give them a lot of points, 15 points. Was it logical, especially for international speech? Was it an original thought? And that's how you're going to give them these 50 points. Let's get to the next one. This is speech delivery. Now in here, you've got for international speech, 30 points. And these 30 points are split equally between physical, voice, and manner. How is his appearance? Body language is difficult in Zoom meetings, and the speaking area is very difficult. So usually this point, I give them full 10 points if I was a judge. It's difficult to judge the physical part. But in a physical meeting, remember, you have to look at these 3 criteria. So you might put more emphasis in the voice, especially for Zoom meeting. Was it right volume? High pitch, low pitch? Was he varying his voice? Was it flexible enough that it was smooth and entertaining? Or was it very mundane and boring? You can give him the full 10 points or all the way down to 0 to 3 if it was not very melodious. The timbre in his voice was not good. The third is the manner. Was he direct? Was he assertive? Was he enthusiastic? Was there good assurance in his voice? You're going to give him 10 points for that. And you're going to start docking points as you go along. Let's get to the next slide. And this is the language. Now remember here, we're going to be consistent with the language. This is not going to be biased, but let's remember somebody who's not native speaker, you're not going to say, oh my goodness, your pronunciation was horrendous. I could not understand your Arabic English, your South Indian English, or your German English, or your Italian English. No, we're going to do that. We're going to say, based on your, not handicap as such, but based on your challenges, were you able to communicate it appropriately and correctly? So 10 points goes to the speech purpose and the audience response. And another 10 points goes to the grammar, pronunciation, the word selection. Maybe it could be the use of triads and so forth. So these are the judging criteria. Any questions on this? I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. So let's get to the next quiz. Are you guys ready with your quiz? The next quiz is, what is not, I repeat, not a barrier to objectivity? So let's have the poll. out there? Our second poll. Poll master, are you ready with the poll? Now that we have understood the judging criteria, we have looked at the ballots. Let's see what is not a barrier to objectivity. So let's have the next 30 seconds, guys. Okay. Speaker position. Okay, the emphasis on the word not. So in other words, 3 of these are barriers. 1 of them is not a barrier. Oh, that's good. I'm seeing a lot of polling. We have almost more than 50% have voted. That's great. Let's give another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm just kidding, guys. We need to go through this really quick. So let's freeze this right now and see. Speaker position. Sadly, that is a barrier to objectivity. It's not. So that's not the right answer, although 19 out of the 40 people said that speaker position is. The halo and reverse halo, yes, that is a barrier. It is not a barrier. No, I'm sorry, it is a barrier to objectivity. The third is speaking about sex, religion, and politics. Yes, this is what I told you about the personal biases. Now, we as Toastmasters, we say, in Toastmasters, we cannot talk about sex, religion, and politics. I'm sorry, Toastmasters doesn't say that. This is something that we as club, as an area in Bahrain, in Kuwait, we are saying that we cannot talk about sex, religion, and politics. Toastmasters doesn't say that. Toastmasters says, go ahead, speak about sex, religion, politics, anything controversial. Let's make sure it's within the decency of certain parameters. So that happens to be not a barrier to objectivity. That's a personal bias in a way, but it's not an thing. And prejudices and personal preferences. Now, remember, I told you club norms. This is a club norm that we cannot talk about sex, religion, and politics. Anyway, great. So now let's get to our presentation. So now let's get to the next slide, please. Next slide. All right. Now that we are done with the international ballot, timer, how much time do I have left? Timer?
You have 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay, excellent. Now that we have understood the strongest principle in growth lies in our human choice. Our choice to choose the best candidate lies with us. Let's use our power of being a judge to select the right candidate. Now let's get to our next few ballots. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, now for humorous speech. As you recall, for the international speech, the speech content was 50%. For humorous, it is 55. There's 5 more points. Here, once again, the development takes 15 versus international speech, which was 20. The effectiveness is 10 here for humorous speech, whereas for international, it was 15. The speech value is 15 here, and in international also was 15. But here, if you notice, there's audience response of 15 points. This extra 15 points, in a way, is what pushes the humorous speech over. Now, unfortunately, in Zoom, this happens to be a handicap. So how do we overcome this? I personally use the fact by giving everyone 15 points or everyone 10 points. That way I stay balanced. I'm fair. I'm not using my discretion to favor one candidate over the other. But again, it's up to you. The next part is on the delivery. In the international speech, again, he had 30 points. Here we have 30 points, and they're identical. Physical is 10, voice is 10, and the manner is 10. Coming to language, there's 15 points for the humorous speech, whereas for international, it was 20 points. And where's the difference? The appropriateness here is 10, like in the past, but for correctness in the grammar, it is only 5 versus 10 for international speech. So you see, grammar is not as important because they know that in humorous speech, you want to purposely kind of play with words. You want to stretch things out. You want to mispronounce certain words, and you want to use that to get audience laughter. Now let's get to the next slide. The next is evaluation. You remember I told you we have content, delivery, and language. Oh my gosh, evaluation is totally different. There's no content, there's no delivery, there's no language. Yes, in fact, here we have analytical quality. That takes 40 points. In other words, is it clear? Is it focused? Was the evaluator focusing on the evaluation based on the speech, or was it based on personal opinions? And that's the second one. Recommendations, 30 points. Positive, specific, and helpful. Technique, were you sympathetic? Were you sensitive? Were you motivating the person, or were you pulling them down? Again, 15 points goes on to that. And finally, the summation. Remember, the difference between first, second, and third is your summation. I have lost out a lot of times on the summation because we forget that evaluation is a regular speech. There's an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Now let's go to the next one, which is the table topics. Now, table topics, like the international and humorous, has got 3 criteria: content, delivery, and language. Like humorous, table topics has got 55 for the content. 30% of which 30 points goes for speech development, 30 for that, 25 for effectiveness. But here there is no speech value, there's no audience response. For delivery, we have 30 points, which are broken down equally for physical and for voice. In other words, how loud and clear you were is as important as how your body language was. And finally, appropriateness and correctness has got 10 and 5 points each. Which brings us now to the final quiz, because I'm running out of time. Poll Master, can you launch the final quiz before I say adios to everyone? And the winner of this quiz is going to get a round trip ticket to your club contest. Can we have the poll, the last quiz? Let me take a sip of my coffee while the poll's being launched. The question here is, when is a ballot considered invalid? I repeat, when is a ballot considered invalid? So let's see. By the way, a lot of this is going to be touched upon in the Chief Judge's training. So we have 3 criteria. One is when it is not signed and the judge's name is not written. The second one is it is signed, but the judge's name is not written. And the third one is it is not, third one, it is signed and the judge's name is written. That means no signature. And finally, all of the above. Great. For the benefit of time, let me say those who said all of the above, not really correct. As long as it is signed, that's important. The judge's ballot will not be discarded. But preferably, we want to have it signed and the name. The signature should be legible. In other words, it's not just a scribble. A lot of this is going to be touched upon in the Chief Judge's training. And that brings us to the last quiz. Can we have the next quiz, please? The last poll. Could we have the last poll, please? In the interest of time. Question number 4. Question number 4 says, who can raise a protest at the contest? A lot of this is just a teaser because I want you to attend the Chief Judge's training. These questions are going to be answered at the Chief Judge's training because as a judge, you're just going to be filling the ballots and taking care of the basic parts. And I can see that we have almost 50% of the contestants or the attendees have answered this. We have any judge, a contestant, any contestant, a person whose work is being plagiarized, or all of the above. Okay, for the benefit of timing, we're going to stop the poll yes, a judge or a contestant can raise an objection. The person whose work is being plagiarized cannot, neither can the audience member, neither can anyone else, including the contest officials. So please make sure that we know the judges' rules and the rule book is with you. Now with this, let's stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to ask the audience, do you have any questions? I have just probably less than 5 minutes. So you can either type your questions in the chat below. If not, I'm just going to recap my whole presentation. For my presentation, one of my slides had just flown away. We have understood what are the judges, basically the judges' criteria. We have understood that there are three purposes for a contest. We have to, the contest is basically an opportunity to practice competitive speaking. It's an educational program for the members and for the public, almost like a TEDx. And finally, it's an opportunity to listen and observe some of the other speakers so we can inculcate some of the things into our presentation. There are 4 obligations for a judge. The first obligation is the contestant, the second to Toastmasters International, the audience, because the audience is coming to listen, and finally to ourselves as Toastmasters. A judge selects a winner, and you're not an evaluator. You're not here to give feedback and advice. There are 5 criteria to be a good judge. You have to be accurate, you need to be fair, you need to be trustworthy, you need to be knowledgeable, and you need to be a good listener. Keep your cell phones aside, pay attention with our eyes and our ears to the contestants. We have seen the 7 barriers to objectivity, the speaker position, to champion the underdog, the halo effect or the reverse halo effect. We also have seen how someone who's a second time around, we're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. What's the club norm or not the norm? And finally, some of our prejudices and personal preferences. Finally, we want to prevent some of these misconceptions by understanding the ballot. Although we have gone through in detail with the international ballot, we have the same criteria for the humorous, table topics, and slight changes for the evaluation. Once you understand this and you have gone through the rule book, the Toastmaster rule book, you can download it from the website. If you still have difficulty, contact our contest officials today, and they are more than willing to help you. So with this, it is time for me to hand over to the Master of Ceremonies. Once again, who's the best? Let's vote for Jeffrey or Ricky. The polls are now open. Over to you, Toastmaster Jeffrey and Ricky.
Me, it's 15 points.
Great one.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Adilovo. I think that was so informative. And I think we are all ready to be a judge in the upcoming contests. But
I beg to differ. I'll remain being a contestant after hearing those words from Titiana Adilovo. Definitely, I'll gonna strike the stage being a contestant rather than being a judge.
Well, actually, I think so. It's easier to be a contestant than to choose the best or the winner in a contest because, you know, as we mentioned earlier, their fate is in our hands. But partner, do you still remember the moment when you were announced as the winner of the evaluation contest this year?
Definitely, we went crazy and like bananas. And you were there, partner, because
Yes.
we were really waiting
We're shouting,
for that.
we're crying. I mean, all of the mixed emotions are there. But what if you won the international speech contest? Aren't you going to be crazy?
I think no, because I'm afraid to the next speaker. Please.
Well, today, Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, we are all delighted because other than judging and the chief judges things, we are going to be listening to the tips and tricks of some of the champions and the best speakers we have around. And today is no exception because we are going to listen to the International Speech Contest winner for District 20 for 2021. So he was a Toastmaster since 2006, and his main interest is in a competitive public speaking with the dream of becoming the world champion of public speaking one day. His highest achievement so far came in 2021 by winning the DTAC in the international speech category. In his personal life, he's a dreamer who believes that all things are possible. Do you believe that too?
Everything is possible
Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a huge round of applause to our District 20 champion, Toastmaster Hazem Al-Alawi.
Thank you very much, vibrant MCs, Toastmaster Jeffrey and Toastmaster Ricky, for a very nice introduction of myself, and a very good morning to everyone on this very crisp Friday morning. Thanks to DTM Be Ready for organizing this event and getting us up very early when we usually go to sleep. Please do not mind the occasional whistle. My parrot is in the room. I don't like to take him out in the morning, so he will be like an alarm for me to keep me awake if I bore myself to death with my slides. So, competitive public speaking, international contests, the contest season around the door. I think everyone today chipped in by saying a thing or two to motivate us about taking part in these contests. And the thing I liked the most was DTM Khalid Abdullah's comment when he said, it's about the journey. It's not about the end result. Enjoy the journey. And if you have that in mind, fellow Toastmasters and guests, for sure, you will look back on your season and you will remember all the bits and pieces that led to that end result, and you will enjoy the journey more than the result itself. Okay, so I'm here to share with you a few hints on taking part in the International Speech Contest, because I have specialized in failing in the International Speech Contest over 10 years, and I have lost so much at DTAC that I consider myself an expert on how not to do it. So if we can go to the next slide, please, moderator. Thank you very much. Where to focus? Now, I always break down any international speech attempt into three things, and I haven't changed my views for the last 10 or so years. First, you need good content, so you need to craft a speech, and you need something solid to go with. The second thing is that you need to raise your delivery. You need to have a good delivery to match your speech. And the third one is that you need the energy to be there. Now hold this slide for a second. I'm sure some of my colleagues will agree that yes, you need good content. Yes, you need good delivery. The third point, which is the one that usually people have different names for. Some say you have to be lucky on the day. Some say that you need that day to be your day, the day of the contest. I have a different approach towards that. I think that you can build up the energy to arrive during contest day in your best possible condition and sway the odds in your favor. And I'm going to share with you some of the techniques I've done later. Just if you can see the very vague and blurry, go back DTM MBRD a little bit. Not time for din din yet. Yeah, okay. If you can see the very blurry vision board that I have in my bedroom, this is one of the ways that you can condition your mind towards your target, towards being at your best energy level on the contest day. So what I did is I just moved my wardrobe to in front of my bed, and I started having this vision board of all the positive things and bits and pieces leading towards the international contest. So this was done about November of last year. So perhaps a good, let's say 5 months before the contest. And it's thank God it's blurry, because Hisham, Jeffrey, your photos there as well. I don't want you to see that. Otherwise, it will be a little bit embarrassing to have my competitors' photos there. But this is one of the techniques that I use to funnel in the energy. Let's move to the next one, please. Now, crafting a speech. So how do we go about writing a speech? I'm sure this is one of the most difficult starts of anyone's season. You go, you write a speech. Is it good enough? Is it not good enough? What do I write about? What kind of story should I tell? It has to be a true story. Very rarely can you make up something and get to deliver it with earnesty. If it's a true story, you know all about it. It happened to you. And what is nice about delivering an international speech or delivering a competitive speech is that you have to be as natural as possible. Imagine yourself sitting with your friends and you're telling your story, a story that happened to you out of the context of Toastmasters. So it's just you sitting in a coffee shop or in what we call diwaniya or somebody's majlis, and you're saying, you're just narrating your story. Is it not going to be from the heart? Yes, of course it's going to be from the heart. So when you have a true story and you mold that into a speech, you're going to have the impact and influence of it being in earnest. Relevance to your audience. This is very important. Very important. How many speeches did we see that are great speeches, amazing speeches, but they don't link to the audience? Think about commonalities, think about simple things. For example, I remember in 2010, I spoke about my relation with my mother. Everyone has a mother or had a mother at a certain stage. I spoke about my boss. Almost everyone has a boss or is married to someone who has a boss. I spoke about money this year and the lack of it and going bankrupt. Everyone has had trouble with money at a certain time. So think about topics that are related, that the audience can relate to, so that when you speak, they know that you are speaking to them. They can take a moment during your speech and say, oh yeah, that happened to me. Oh yes, I know what that feels like. So relevance is very important. And can we go to the next one, please? Yeah. Entertaining, emotions, feelings, and call for action. By now, all of us know that a speech without a call for action will be vague, will just be passing by, like watching a movie that doesn't have a purpose. Speeches should be entertaining. They should have emotions. They should toggle between emotions. They should have some 5 or 6 different feelings in them or different emotions in them. A little bit of sadness, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of anger, a little bit of surprise, perhaps some disgust, perhaps some fear. These create that roller coaster that we see in most cinematic movies. And we relate to that because we become entertained. So this is a very important part of your speech. You should have it entertaining. People should leave remembering your speech. Oh, wow, what a speech. I remember that. Oh, did you like? Oh, I really did like that part. I wasn't expecting it to end. You want people to talk about your speech after you have delivered it, to remember your speech. And that only comes when you give the audience something entertaining, something they can relate to, and something that's a true story to you, so they will always remember you and your speech. Let's move one more. Raising your delivery. Now, this is, for me personally, the most difficult part in preparing for a season. It's like building a house. You need to construct it on very good, solid foundations. And those foundations are the scenes in your speech. Now, let me reflect a little bit on my speech. I'm not sure if all of you have seen it, but I'll try to do my best. So there are few scenes in my speech that I build the entire delivery upon. First, there's a scene in the car. I open my speech. I'm in my car, I'm losing my coins. Second, there's a scene at home where I'm with my daughter, Imano, and her toy, Dindin. Then there's a scene at the cinema where I go because she lost her toy and I'm talking to the security guard, Ram. Then I come back home and I have Imano crying. And then I go back again to the car. So I'm toggling between these three scenes, and those become the buildup of my delivery. Let's have the next point, please, sir. Life in characters. How many of you have heard a speech where it has characters without a name? Where it has characters that you do not know what they look like? Spend a minute or two describing your characters. For example, Dindin, missing one eye, one ear, ugly. People know what Dindin is. It's a character. Ram, the security guard, okay? Friendly looking security guard. He has a name tag. It says Ram. His posture, the way he speaks, the way he gives simple advice. We can relate to Ram. We can remember Ram. Okay, and of course, the third character is yourself, or you can have more characters. It's up to you. But the point is, give life to your characters by describing them, giving them names, and this is what make people remember them. How many speeches did we hear? Like, this old man came to me and spoke. Who is the old man? What's his name? What does he look like? Do not leave that for imagination. Be a little bit more specific. When people remember characters, they remember the scenes that the characters are in. And this is a very important point. You see that I'm reiterating on it again. Remembrance is very important. You want people to remember it. You want judges to remember your speech. During that minute of marking their ballots, it will help a lot if they remember everything in your speech. Let's take the next point. Use your body to maximize the impact. Of course, do not add body language to get the points. Please. A lot of speakers I see, they say, I need to add some body language here. I need to add some vocal variety here. Otherwise, the judges are not going to mark me high, or I'm going to miss points. No. Use your body to impact your message, to hammer in what you want. Use the poses in your favor. So your vocal variety and your body language should serve you to deliver a better speech, and not I'm going to put them in the speech for the sake of having them there so that I don't get demarked on them. Let's take the next one, please. All right. The energy whirlpool. Now, if you remember, I'm sure so many of you have done this. When you fill up the kitchen sink with water, and then you suddenly remove the plug, the water starts to go in a whirlpool, and the speed picks up, and it's all pouring in one drainage hole. And this is what you need to do with your energy. So if you look at the picture here, I was a little bit reluctant to, yeah, you can put the second point, sir. Yeah, so I was a little bit reluctant whether to share this or not. But this is 2019 and 2020. Look at the fat guy at the right. Overweight, obese, stressed. Whatever you do to that depressed person, he's not going to win contests, because he will come and reflect that energy on the stage or the virtual stage. So we need to work on the speaker, on the team that is supporting the speaker, mentors, coaches, and use vision boards, use the law of attraction. It's a complete package. That's why I say it's a whirlpool. You need everything to go down to with one purpose, for one purpose, which is to arrive on contest day at the best possible condition. Your body has to be fit, your mind has to be fit, your energy level has to be maximized, your food should be good, your water intake should be good. Everything comes together. You cannot have family problems and domestic problems and expect to win. You cannot have depression at work and problems at work and uncertainty at work and expect to win. You cannot have an unhealthy lifestyle and really sad about yourself and expect to win. It's a complete package. You have to take care of yourself in every little aspect. And I like just to mention something here. It's a quote by Prophet Muhammad. Usually I don't like to quote religiously, but it says, if I remember correctly, "Man istawa yawmah fahuwa maghboon," which translates to, if your yesterday is the same as your today, then you have a bad deal in life. In other words, every day should be an improvement on the day before. In every aspect, in your health, in your fitness, in your mental health, in your energy levels, in your preparation for Toastmasters, in every aspect, prepare yourself for that day of the contest. Funnel in the positive energy. Cheer squads work. A cheer squad is a group of people who will always cheer you, who will always tell you that you have done a good job. And you need to surround yourself with those people. You need to invite them to some of your rehearsals because you need to feed on that positive energy. A lot of people will give you opinions. A lot of people are going to give you the feedback. To change drastically in your speech. So take in all the one of my very senior members, let's say, he told me, not good at all. You should consider
Toastmaster Hazim, I think some technical glitch. You can repeat it.
I think we lost distinguished Toastmaster Hazim.
Yeah, we'll just wait for him to come back.
So while waiting for him to come back, I would like to inform everyone that we will be having a panel discussion later. So if you have any questions, please save them for the question and answer portion later.
Better to write down in your paper and take the chance when the panel discussion comes forward.
Yeah, I think I am reading some questions in the chat box, so please try to save them elsewhere because we want them to be raised later to
And
our
of course,
panelists.
we do not have the moderator who's going to stop the presenter to ask that questions, or even the presenter himself will never read the chat box. So please keep your questions ready with your notes. And when the time comes for the question and answer portion or the panel discussion, please raise your right hand, not just left hand, but right hand.
And repeat after me.
I think yes. Dan Nassim, are you back?
Salah. So I think I'm learning a lot of things at Toastmaster Jeffrey here in the discussions that we have.
Yes, I had a chance to watch DTM Hassem's 1000 videos and looking those tips and techniques why he merged to be the district champion. Now I know.
So do you still remember the speech he delivered last time in the contest?
Din
sorry,
din,
gentlemen.
din din.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was speaking
Nice.
about taking care of details and I lost my connection. So this is intentional, just to show you what could happen when you're not prepared. Anyways, so sorry for that little disturbance. It was an offline commercial break, DTM Khalid. Okay, so we take care of small details. Don't give any chance for anything to go wrong. And do not let any loose ends before you start your contest season. Other than that, you should be ready. And let's have our final slide so I can wrap up. Good luck with your contest season. This is just me, my hand notes, and you can see around, I don't know, 800 rehearsals by that time, and how you take care and take note of everyone. So last words for me: rehearse, 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 and don't stop rehearsing so that you can arrive with perfection. Back to you, our duo Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hasim Al-Alawi, the District 20 champion of the International Speech category. Woo, such a nice story to hear your story. And with this, I am seeing such a familiar name. The next speaker would be one of formidable speakers that I have competed with in the recently concluded DTAC 20 in the evaluation. A happy Toastmaster for 7 years with a senior lecturer at the BIBF by profession, lifelong lover of reading by passion, lives in constant amazement at the beauty of language and literature, an evaluation champion and won awards until DTAC. Wow, such a profile. Ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, my idol in the evaluation and table topic sessions, DTM Hisham Jifrey.
Thank you very much, dual MCs, for that truly unique introduction. I'm really appreciative of it. Please allow me a few seconds until I have the privilege of sharing screen. Mr. Moderator, if you would allow me the privilege of sharing screen, I would be really appreciative. So this is where table topics helps. Thank you so much. I have the screen share privilege. Let me bring up my slide for you now. Thank you for having me today. And it's such a great pleasure to be able to present a few tips and learnings from my journey in this great discipline and skill called evaluation. Our founding father says that there are two pillars in any Toastmasters club. One is mentoring and the other one is evaluation. Done right, these two will create spark plugs out of your members who are waiting to go out there and conquer the world of public speaking. We want to speak today about the skill of evaluation. We want to cover the anatomy of an evaluation, because Toastmasters evaluations are unlike any other evaluation. It's not criticism, it's not feedback, but it's all put together, packaged in a beautiful presentation that is truly unique, that allows the presenter in 2 minutes and 29 seconds to gift the knowledge of skill, expertise, and feedback in a truly unique package to the test speaker and the audience. What I want to cover with you today is the hallmark of a great evaluation, as mentioned to me by one of my mentors. And very, very, very crucially, in this day and age, where is the contest being held? And for you, why take part in it? Why put yourself through this mill? And then a few tips and tricks that I want to lay with you over what I have learned over the last so many years. The earliest mentor that I had at the Sri Lanka Club Symposium was distinguished Toastmaster Muhammad Salih. And he said the hallmark of a great evaluation is when you, the evaluator, sit down, the test speaker should want to jump up, run to the stage, and deliver the speech again. Think about it. Isn't that why we are all here in this beautiful movement? To get that inspiration, motivation, evaluation that we can run onto the stage and deliver the speech far better than ever before. This is the mindset that I take onto the stage every time I open my mouth to deliver an evaluation. It's not about me. It's not about the evaluation, but it's about uplifting the speaker to a place, a podium, a position where they have not been and they aspire to be. For the term 2021-2022, all contests will be held virtually. Now, due to recent developments, it's apparent that clubs might choose to have this physically. But remember, the contest is to be held virtually. Now, that has serious implications to how you prepare for this particular contest. And some of these have nothing to do with the evaluation itself. As we witnessed, the quality of the internet can be the difference between placing and not placing. So the quality of your internet, whether it is Wi-Fi, mobile, cable, is crucial. That decision has to be made now, not on the day of the contest. The quality of your sound equipment, whether you will use your laptop, whether you will use Bluetooth headset, whether you will use a wired lapel mic, whether you will use wired microphones, that decision has to be made now. The quality of your lighting, whether you want natural lighting, artificial lighting, a mix of it, ring lights, square lights, whichever it is, that decision has to be made now. Because remember, this is not an evaluation contest, it is an evaluation speech contest. So every little bit that you put in that allows you to deliver the best is a decision that you need to take now. The quality of your webcam, whether you use the webcam from your laptop or whether you use something else, the quality of your physical location, what's behind you, whether you will use a virtual background or no, these are decisions that you must take now. And very importantly, in this space, in this tiny box that we call the virtual space, the quality of your facial expressions, your smile, your gestures, the way you use this limited space, and the way you are able to connect with your audience through these 2 feet of distance between our laptops, that is a skill that is unique to this time and this place we are in this particular evaluation contest. These are the before decisions that are really important, not only for the evaluation contest, but of course, for each contest that you take part in. I want to give you 5 seconds to answer this question. Why put yourself through the evaluation contest? Because if you think about the evaluation contest, it is not like any of the other contests. You have a speaking order which can influence your speech. You have a test speaker who you have no idea is going to be. You will be looking at the test speech. You are given 2 papers to take notes in. Then you are escorted to an isolation room. Then you come into a room where you don't know what has happened before you. You come in cold to the room. Then you deliver an evaluation. You sit down and you think, now what happens to me? The evaluation contest is like no other contest. So why put yourself through this? It is because it is a friendly contest to learn from the more proficient speakers amongst us. One of my favorite quotes comes from Nelson Mandela when he said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." So remember, contests and the learning that you get from this contest stage, you cannot get from any other location in Toastmasters. What I have learned on the stage is something that I really cherish, because that adrenaline, that energy, those neurons pumping in your brain on the stage, you don't get anywhere else. So I encourage you, get on the stage, contest to learn and become better. You know why? Remember the 2-minute speech you gave after your icebreaker? That's the reason why we are in Toastmasters. Steel can only be sharpened with steel. Diamonds can only be polished with diamonds. And diamonds are created in the highest pressure environment. This teaches you to handle that pressure and then go out there and show the world how it's done. I want to share with you 4 tips, tricks, techniques, and hacks that have really helped me in managing the pressure of an evaluation contest. And the first one is, in any evaluation, I try to remember it using the 3 W's. What went right? What could be better? And what can the speaker specifically and specially do to make the speech better? What went right are the strengths of the speech. What could be better are the recommendations that you have. And then the third point is, what can that speaker specifically use as their strengths in order to uplift that particular speech? If the speaker has a beautiful smile and you know that, you can recommend that, please, you have a 1,000-watt smile. Why not flash it a little bit more? If the speaker is a powerfully built person, you can say, use that physicality in order to take control of the physical space. If the speaker is a skilled speaker with regard to one-liners, you can say, please, you have a sense of humor, incorporate that, infuse that into your speech. So specifically, what can the speaker do in terms of their own personal strengths and weaknesses? The judges' ballot. I'll let you in on a small secret. The first 2 years that I contested in the evaluation speech contest, I did not know there was a judges' ballot. Yes, that can happen. And the best analysis of the judges' ballot sheet that I have heard for evaluation is from one of my other mentors in my home club, distinguished Toastmaster Ahmad Rizvi. And this I heard for the first time from him, arts. The judges' ballot is broken down into 4. And he religiously mentions this at every single judge's briefing or training he mentions. Analytical quality, 40%, talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the speech. Recommendations, 30%, on what the speaker can specifically do to improve the speech. Wrapped in technique, your sympathetic, empathetic, connection-driven method of delivering the evaluation. And then finally, your last words linger, the summary, for 15%, to show that you are the master of the spoken word. And when you deliver, you have delivered with power, precision, and perfection, and now you leave the stage. This, of course, is the available judges' ballot, and this items that we spoke about: analytical quality, recommendation, technique, and summation. The mark breakdown is given. You want to be at the excellent. You want to be at 100 out of 100. Note taking. Should you take notes? Shouldn't you take notes? That decision needs to be made now. How many papers are you going to use? That decision needs to be made now. What paper will you use? What type of pen will you use? How many pens will you use? What color pens will you take? You need to make those decisions now, because on the day of the evaluation contest, you want to minimize the number of decisions you make. The last thing you need is, when you are about to hear the test speaker's name, you're trying to decide whether you're going to use a blue pen, black pen, red pen, green pen. You don't want that. Decide what you want to do ahead of time. Pick what you're going to do. Have your note-taking technique decided right now, because you should not experiment on the day of the contest. Have a well-grooved note-taking process. And your delivery technique. Remember, it's not evaluation contest, it's evaluation speech contest. There must be an opening. There must be a smooth transition into the body of your evaluation, which covers the analysis, strengths, and weaknesses. Then you transition smoothly into your recommendations, delivered with your sympathetic technique, and then you transition smoothly on to your summary, where you end with a bang. This is not an evaluation contest. This is an evaluation speech contest. Bonus tip: know your contest clock. So you know that at 2 minutes, no lights. At the second minute, green light. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, amber light. And 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you're out. 3 minutes and 29 seconds, you need to stop. So usually, if I find that a speaker could use more help, then I generally spend more time on recommendations. But if I find that a particular speaker has more strengths, then I spend less time on the recommendations. Now, this is my personal model, and whether you use it or not is up to you. But this is something that I try to use. And remember, the time that the test speaker has taken, the name of the test speaker, and the accurate speech title. 3 very important, simple items that you must note down from the agenda itself. These are 2 quotes from 2 former world champions. Craig Valentine says, "You will always be too good to someone. You will always be too good, too bad, too black, too white, too short, too tall, too rich, too poor. The secret is to be too good for it to matter." The 1993 world champion of public speaking, Otis Williams, says, "Prepare so well and deliver so well that the only question in the mind of the judges is, who should be second place?" So this is the mindset of 2 former champions, and this is something that has really helped me. The 2014 world champion of public speaking, Dhananjay Hettiarachchi, delivered this speech for 7 minutes and 20 seconds. But a little known fact is that it came from this speech, his TEDx video, which was a 20-minute speech that was revised 90 times before it became the world championship winning speech. Do your homework. Evaluation is a muscle, evaluation is a mindset, evaluation is an attitude. Exercise that in the gym of evaluation before you get on to the stage of evaluation. These are the pinnacle of our movement. The boxer Ramona J. Smith, the archer Manoj Vasudevan, Mr. Calvin Klein Darante, the man with the cigarette Muhammad Al-Ghaftani, the man with the rose Dhananjay Hettiarachchi, and the man with the flat tire Christian Vasiliev. Each one of them took the fundamental of speaking and they added their own specific flavor to become truly memorable, to become truly unforgettable, and to leave their stamp and signature on the stage that they delivered from. What will you do to leave your stamp on the world of evaluation? C.S. Lewis says, hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny. You are destined to be extraordinary. So take this hardship as an opportunity to move yourself to the next plane of your performance. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for having me on a Friday and listening to me. I wish you all the best. Back to you, dual MCs.
Wow. I think I'm beginning to learn a lot and I'm ready to conquer the contest stage, Toastmaster Jeffrey. How's that?
Indeed, again, a great moment to be sharing the stage with great Toastmaster DTM Hisham Jeffrey.
Thank you so much, DTM Hisham Jeffrey. And I think for the past 2 speakers, I've already learned a lot. But I can tell you that this next speaker is something that I think I would like to get a lot of things from, because our next presenter is a humorous speech contest presenter. She's a Toastmaster since 2017. At the top.
But before he continues, let us give everyone a round of You may not go.
Okay, so the Ditaki Humor Speech Champion for the year 2020. She holds master's degree in business administration, and by profession, she works as senior manager at the Australian College of Kuwait. Her motto in life is, are you ready?
Yes.
Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself, and that is quoted from Coco Chanel.
Wow. What Chanel?
Chanel to
Arirang Chanel.
Arirang. No, let's go for Bahrain channel this time. MBC. More Bahrain channels. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, let's all welcome Toastmaster Hanan Halouj.
Thank you, our amazing MCs. You are bringing fire to this event. Thank you very much. And I think you are taking from my glamour. Yeah? Was this intentional? I hope not. Good morning, everyone, our 77 audience, and welcome to My Secrets. Yes, you heard it right. It is time for me to share my secrets with all you amazing Toastmasters. Let me start with sharing my presentation. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So today we are here to learn some tips and guidelines for you to win a humorous speech. Now, humor is an art. Let's agree on this. You might have a sense of humor, but the art of using your life incidents and stories and turn them into jokes and humor is what exactly is needed for you to win a humorous speech. Now, let's start. What is exactly humor? Humor is the food for the soul. It is the combination of experiences and occurrences that happen together in order for you to use them to evoke laughter and jokes from others. It is sometimes making others laugh about your situation or about your tips. Now, before I start with my tips and guidelines, I would like to see the mindset of our audience. Let me give you these two statements. What do you think? In the chat box, please tell me, do you agree or disagree with the first statement? The ability to make someone laugh is somehow encoded in your DNA. Do you agree or disagree? What do you think? So anyone wins the humorous speech, it is already there in his DNA. He's a humorous person. Maybe? Disagree? No? Agree? Now I'm going to skip the poll so that we can save the time. Okay, so some of you agree or some of you disagree. Okay, what about the second statement? Humor is a skill that you can learn. What do you think? Agree or no? It's really difficult to be a humorous person. It's really difficult to crack jokes. Agree. Totally agree. Absolutely. Now, I'm an example in front of you guys. I'm a very serious person. I've never cracked jokes in my life at all. Then in 2020, I decided to compete for the humor speech. So what? Let me do it. Let me try it. It was a choice. And I took that choice. And when I took that choice, I used all the tools, all the resources I can have in order for me to win. So let's agree on one thing before we start the tips. Humor is something that you can learn, regardless of your age, regardless of your personality, of your perspective. You can always be funnier. It is a choice. So let's begin with my tips. Now, the first thing you have to, even before writing your speech, and I do share this with the DTM Anelopo, you have to learn your judge's palette. People think if I'm going to deliver a humorous speech, then I have to pack it with as much as I can of jokes. That's not right. Laughter and jokes represent only 15 points out of the potential 100 points. There is 55 points for the content, 30 points for the delivery, and 15 points for the language. Only 15 points out of the 55 points are allocated for the laughter and jokes. So pay attention to your speech development, to your effectiveness, and the speech value. And there are other segments you have to pay attention, the physical, the voice, the gestures, they all count for. This is one of the mistakes some of the contestants might fall in. Please take care of this. Now, how do I select a winning topic? Just be self-conscious. Just pay attention to everything around you. Your topic might be something like a struggle, an obstacle, or a conflict you have been facing your life. Like, for example, it can be as simple as taking your kids to bed, learning to dance, learning a new language. Maybe you are too short or too tall. There are lots of obstacles there. Think about the time or an area you tried to achieve, but you failed and you encountered obstacles. Maybe losing weight, gaining weight. For example, reaching or learning a new skill or learning a new sport. Think of a position in which you were uncomfortable, like a fish out of water, traveling to new countries, maybe joining a new company or being promoted to a new job, right? Pick real life scenarios or stories and turn them into jokes. And this is exactly what I did. I've been always struggling with my family about getting married, and I use that in my winning speech. You can always, if you cannot find anything from the above, just go for any interesting topic from the internet. Now you have selected your winning topic, sure about it, you are comfortable delivering it, then now it is time for you to integrate some humor. It is a science, guys. There are lots of types of humor you can integrate, and I've listed some of them here. Turn of phrase, the pun, exaggeration, irony, understatement, sarcasm, self-deprecating, and I'm going to give you examples of some of them for the sake of the time. So let's check turn of phrase, and I'm using this example. So what is turn of phrase? In this type of humor, you get the laugh by starting to make a serious point in one direction, and suddenly an unexpected meaning is revealed. An example used by our DTM, Aditya: God created mothers to be the most loving, most caring, most kind, most of the time. That's turn of phrase. Let's take another example like the exaggeration. By an example, I'm going to use this time our DTM Dhananjaya. Exaggeration means it is when a small thing is made into a larger important issue to create a humorous effect. And I'm sure everyone here remembers. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hands if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together. You get my mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. Let's take another example. Maybe understatement. Understatement is the opposite of exaggeration, and words are used to intentionally downplay the importance of a person, place, event, ID, or just about anything else. An example by another Toastmaster champion, Kwang Yi Young. He said, I look out of the window and all I see are dead trees, black cars, and pollution so thick, and I can actually look and stare at the sun. I think to myself, we are not in Kansas anymore. So, my fellow Toastmasters, there are different types, maybe there are some other even types of humor. What exactly you have to do when you have chosen your topic, just research all the different types of humor. Select the type or types that fit your speech, your topic, and you are comfortable with, and integrate them within your speech. So we have studied the judges' palette, we've selected a winning topic, we've integrated now humor. Now it is also very important for you to avoid inappropriate humor. Humor is your weapon whenever you are delivering a humorous speech. So you don't want to offend the judges. You don't want to offend any audience. Try to be aware of the community, of the background, the cultural background of your audience, so that you don't use any racist jokes, any sexual humor, any slander or discrimination, or you maybe if you are having a jokes about Arab culture or Indian culture or any foreign culture, pay attention that you don't offend any community or any culture. Anything that makes people feel bad, or also it is not welcome. So you want the people to laugh, but you don't want them to be offended and feel inappropriate. Now, moving on, it is now time for you to write your speech. So what exactly you need to do? You need to brainstorm to prepare your content. You need to write it with a very supportive and logical. You don't want to use a code in which you are not referring to that code. You don't want to mention any information that is not logical, or people will question it. What exactly he or she is telling us? Please write a very simple and clear speech. All of us here, especially in District 20, we are non-English speakers. So you don't want to use heavy language, right? Because your audience are non-English speakers. You need people to understand your job. You don't want them first to try to comprehend what is the meaning of this word and then laugh about joke. It does not work like that. Write in a simple language and follow a storyline. Your point has to move smoothly from one point to one point. A joke should lead to another joke. Follow the best practices of our famous humorous speakers, and this is exactly what I did. I've watched there are lots of YouTube videos. You can watch lots of Toastmaster humorous speakers. They have won and they have competed, and you can learn a lot how they've written their script. Run your story around same topic. What does this mean? You choose a certain topic, like for example, learning a new language, and all your jokes is about this topic. Don't try to jump from one topic to another topic because this will confuse your audience. Run your storyline around the same topic. Engage your audience with characters, with different people. You don't want them to feel as if this is the only person who is involved in the story. It can be your mom, your spouse, it can be your friends, your colleagues, whatever, and imitate their voices. Try to dress their character, and that will help you to engage your audience more. So now we've written the speech. Before the delivery, manage your time. For me, it's really upsetting when I get to know someone have prepared for his contest, for the speech 1 week or 2 weeks before. It doesn't work like this, guys. If you want to win, you have to prepare and manage your time ahead of time. For me, I've written my speech maybe 3 or 4 months back, and I've changed it, revised it many times. And this is the way you have to follow. Not only you have to manage your time, you have to manage your energy. You have to give it your full potential, because you can always have the time, but if you don't have the energy, how you are going to prepare for the winning speech? Explore and heighten. Don't write one time your script and khalas, that's finished. I'm not going to change anything. No, explore, think about it. How can I make this joke even funnier? Yeah. How can I fine tune my plot in the story? Practice, perform, repeat for sharp delivery. You can always practice. You see, I think you are going to laugh about this. You know, when do I practice? I practice when I'm showering. I practice when I'm cooking. I practice when I'm driving. I even practice when I'm sleeping, before sleeping. Can you imagine this? Because you need to take control of your speech. You don't want to fumble while you are delivering. Your speech has to be there inside your mind. Even if you forgot a word, you can always rephrase it and change it into a different word. Why? Because you have full control around your speech. Master your virtual presence. This time also we are going to have a virtual contest. So master your virtual presence, your camera level, your stage presence. Use your friends, your family and mentors for a final practices. And the presence of a mentor with you is a very crucial pillar for you to win the speech. Record yourself if you feel that will help you while practicing. Now, it is showtime. It is time for you to put it out there. So you need to give it your full potential. Dress well and be prepared. Look smart and ready to crack some jokes. Loosen up. You don't want your audience to feel as if you are nervous. You are not going to get any laughter from them. They need to feel that you are having fun. And you can only have this if you have practiced a lot of time before that. Vary your tone and expression. See how I'm varying? I'm having these funny faces, and each face represents a moment in my speech. You need to get your audience engaged with the variation of your facial expression. I do share this with the DTM Hisham Jeffrey. Your facial expression in the virtual presence is so important. Use calculated pauses because you need to wait until your audience laugh, comprehend, even if you cannot see them laugh, but you feel that this is a joke, so you need to give them time to laugh. And stand confident, be comfortable, and smile. Smiling is contagious, right? And have fun. Now, some do's and don'ts. take your preparation seriously. This is my main recommendation for you. Take it seriously. Because any winner who have practiced, rephrased, always was the speaker who had a better chance of winning. Start strong. Start with your best joke. Get the attention of your audience. Loosen up, as I've said. It's a humorous speech. It's not some international speech. You have to inspire people. Of course, there is a message. You have to conclude with a very powerful conclusion. But again, your aim is to make people laugh. No reaction, move on. Don't embarrass yourself. Pause for effect. Leave them laughing. Give your last bang a very humorous and your best joke. And don't forget to smile. Now, don'ts, please. As I've mentioned, study your judging scoring. Don't start too late for preparing your speech or for practicing. Avoid showing any tension or you are anxious. And don't begin with a funny story. Why? Because if you say, let me tell you a funny story, you are building your audience expectation. But laughter doesn't happen like this. Laughter comes by surprise, and you need to surprise them by your jokes. Put a ban on negative sarcasm. Avoid, of course, sex, politics, race, or mention of any nationality. My final comments to you is to really be passionate about what you are doing. You are delivering a humorous speech, so you need to be very self-conscious. What helped me win in 2020 is that, and to be frank with you, this is my first time competing in a humorous speech. When I first competed, I won. Call it luck, call it preparation, call it being passionate, but I won. And the secret behind that is that I gave it all my potential. I prepared ahead of time. I had a good mentor, and I revised my speech many times. I practiced many times so that I could reach that level of delivery that people can feel that I've mastered and I had control. And if you followed all my tips, I guarantee you'll be competing against me in the district, hopefully. And hopefully, please pray for me that I will reach also the districts this time. Thank you. And with this, back to you, MCs.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hanan Halush. Wow, Jeffrey, I think you are now ready to compete in the humor speech contest.
At least I could say, after being the start from first stage or of the staircase, I might be in the third. So, but still, that's 100.
Still a long way to go, right?
It is a long way
No,
to
but
go.
after having listened to Toastmaster Hanan, I think we are now more equipped than before, right?
I agree. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to embark into the last segment for today's affair. A member of Toastmasters organization from 2013, a distinguished Toastmaster, a project manager of Mr. Muhammad Katani, the world champion of public speaking in the year 2015. A certified trainer from Bristol Science Academy, public motivational speaker, office manager for Digita United General Trading Contracting Company. This year, he says, I am burning self, taking president, 2 clubs, BPE Education, BPPR, treasurer, secretary, and a district designer. I guess that he will be giving a club roles seminars at the moment. Very friendly, and he loves people and loves to give support for everyone. Crazy most of the time, and a creative person. Let us put our hands together for the Table Topic Speech Contest Tips presenter, DTM Arich Jafar.
Thank you so much. But one question. He's
a joke.
Seriously?
That was part of my humor speech.
He's practicing.
Hello, DTM.
Well, I will put that on a side and start my workshop for you all. Before I open my screen and share my workshop, I want to ask you all, when do we always have a table topic question? Here is one, right? All the time. It's all around us, at home, at work, at street, at everywhere. So table topic, it's not only the speech contest or table topic in the club meetings, but it's all the time around us in our daily routine, everywhere. You might walk on the street and then suddenly someone will come across you and ask you a question and you will be like, to avoid this, let's try to practice how to win a table topic speech contest. In the beginning, I would like to say hi to you all, and I wish you all a great day. And inshallah, after this session, you will learn the technique how to be ready for the table topic questions in general and the speech contest. So let's start. What we are going to learn today. We will learn about the contestant eligibility and originality. We will learn about the judging criteria and how to prepare. And this is the most important thing, how to prepare for the speech contest. What is the contest procedures and how to perform the table topic speech contest. At the end, if we will still have time, I hope timer will be showing me the colors. If we will still have time, we will try it together. Okay, let's start. So the eligibility. In each contest, we have eligibility and originality. And the first one is the eligibility. What we need to do is to have, when we are competing in a club, it should be in a good standing. What do we mean by good standing, DTM Khalid? Abdullah? A club in a good standing? You can unmute yourself, right? No? Okay. Then write in the chat. Renewal. Okay. Paid club. Paid club with minimum 8 members. That's a good standing. Like not just 5 members are paid and that's like a good standing club. No, it should be 8 members minimum and more. So make sure that your club, before you start competing, is in a good standing. Talk to your ex-com. Make them renew for 8 minimum. And you too, you need to be in a good standing. That means you need to renew your membership in the club you want to compete in. So these are the only eligibility that's needed for the table topic speech contest. Now, originality. Do we have originality for the table topic speech contest? You can write in the chat box. You can debate with me. I had a great debate with DTM Khalid Abdullah about this, and I won at the end, of course. Well, based on the speech contest rulebook, all speech categories, even evaluation, table topic, humorous, international, tall tale, you need to have 25% or less of the speech devoted by quoting, phrasing, or reference to another person and doing a speech. Now you will tell me this is for international and humor speech, but see the next point, that before all contestants, everyone will be signing on the originality and eligibility form. In that form, here you can see in that letter, it will say that the content of their speech or will be substantially original by using the speaker certificate eligibility. And in that certificate, item 1183, we will have all the other contest categories. So all contest categories have this 25% quoting or phrasing or anything to be added in your speech. So your table topic speech should be original. Now with the judging criteria, I will not go through it in details as DTM Anil Lobo has provided to us, but let's just remember it. The content, 55%, speech development 30%, and effectiveness 25%, delivery 30%, which is physical 15%, and voice 15%, and the language, it should be appropriate, I don't know how to pronounce it, 10%, and correctness is 5%. I will lose point on this one, the correctness. So the total is 100%. These are the category. Save it, because this is how you need to prepare your table. You will not prepare, but this is how you need to be ready for your table topic, and make sure that judges will be putting your points based on these categories. Now, how to prepare for the speech contest, for the table topic? You will come and say, come on, seriously, it's table topic. We don't know the question. Yes, that's true. But what you need to do is to write, I advise you to write down in a notebook, in your phone, there is notes also, wherever you want, write down general topics. What do I mean by general topics? Let's say family, job, love, friends. These are general topics. Anything, money, like I forget who was saying it. Hanan and Hazem, they were saying about the topics in general, how to select your topics. Same for the table topic speech contest. Every day, write a topic or a general topic, put it in a notebook. And in there, start writing some stories. In your notebook, under each category or topic, put a story. Either you put it from your mind, anything you will like. It's better to be real, but if you can have stories from your daily life, a funny one, an inspiring one, put it there. Keep it there with you ready. And if you can read it every 2-3 days, that will keep your memory refreshing. And your memory will be remembering these things whenever you will be stopped, or you will be asked, or you will be competing, you will have your memory ready. And that's, again, refresh your daily memory, your memory in a daily basis. I want to tell you something. Last year, I wasn't expecting to be there in DTAC in the table topic contest, because I usually don't win, honestly speaking, and reach that level. It was, of course, from great people around me. And let me say these two names, DTM Alan Paul and DTM Raymond Pereira, both of them, they were amazing with me. They gave me the tips, the techniques, and boom, I was there in the DTAC stage for the table topic contest. So always you need to practice. They were giving me and sending me topics every day, like Alan Paul was giving me every moment another topic. Everyone was trying to help. Keep a topic every day with you, or 2-3 topics, and start build a speech on it. So when it comes to the contest, whatever topic will come, you will have it ready with you. And you need to practice, practice, practice. As I told you, just see these topics every day. Have a good mentor, of course. Of course, DTM Alan and DTM Raymond, amazing, but still there's amazing other new members we have, all seniors, everyone here to help. You can approach me whenever you want. I will be helping you, advising you. Everyone will help, I'm sure, in District 20 and all around the world. Attend the judging and speech contest training. You are doing this right now. Great job. Now, like what DTM Hazem or Toastmaster Hazem mentioned, visualize your winning. This is something what we call it the law of attraction. You attract what you think of. So when you visualize that, I am winning the speech, I am getting the trophy, you will get the trophy. You will be the winner, you will be the champion. So do that. Do the board that DTM Toastmaster Hazem or DTM, I don't know if he's a DTM yet. Do that and you will be the winner. Now, what is the table topic procedures? Table topic timing is 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds grace period after the 2 minutes. As you can see the colors here. The contest chair will select a topic, one topic, because I see people for fun, they are selecting 3 topics and they are asking the first contestant, pick one. It's only one topic, please, contest chairs. Pick one topic and all contestants will be receiving the same topic. Now, contestant will receive no advanced knowledge of the topic. And please, for all contest chair, when you are selecting the topic, don't put your life story in there. Just a simple one, reasonable, no detailed knowledge, something that will lead to an opinion or conclusion. I remember one day I was practicing and then a guy was giving me a topic and I wanted to hit him in his head. Yes, because the topic was, if a person was married to a woman and that woman was pregnant and then they brought a baby and the baby was not very beautiful, and then this baby, he had another baby, and then I was like, what the hell is that? So please make your topic simple, reasonable. Don't make the contestant panic. Please do that. No digital devices should be used. That's, of course, will be part of another session today. We will learn about it, but please, when you are in the breakout room, no devices, nothing, or you might be like out of the contest, so don't do that. Now, all contestants should be moved to a breakout room with a sergeant at arms supervision, except of contestant number 1, because he will start and then everyone will be following him. Contestants should be introduced as follows: contestant name, topic, contestant name. Don't say a lot of other things. That's it, simple. After each speaker, 1 minute of silence for judges. Okay, and it will go for all contestants. Now, how to perform the table topic. Listen carefully for the topic. Give yourself 10 seconds, let's say, before you speak up. Just put all your thoughts, slow down. Don't rush whenever you hear the question. Remember, you had refreshed your memory with all the stories, with all the topics you have wrote in your paper. So slow down, think carefully, listen carefully, and then speak up. Okay, here it's written for maximum 30 seconds, but after discussion with our division director, let's make it only 10 seconds. So we will not make it long in the contest. Give yourself 10 seconds. As I said, slow down. Give yourself 10 seconds, think of the quote, and then speak up. Always be unique and different. Don't be as crazy as I am. I am super crazy. Like I can suddenly shout in the beginning of the contest or say crazy things, but you try your best to be unique. What do I mean? If someone gave you a normal question that everyone can say or talk about the same thing, try to find another story or something that no one might talk about. Try to say something that no one will expect you to speak about. That will make you unique and different. Of course, the judging ethics and all these things will matter, but still, you try your best to be unique and different. And come out of your comfort zone. I remember one person was saying all the time, whenever we are like sharing quotes or something, he was talking about his family, his wife, his job, and that's it. All the quotes was about the same thing. Get out of your comfort zone. Talk about things you don't share usually. Talk about adventures. Talk about something no one would expect you to speak about. So try to get out of your comfort zone. Start with a hook. Even the table topic should have similar to the international and evaluation and also the humorous. Have a hook in the beginning. Put your body, the speech body in a good way. Have a call of action and a conclusion. That will make you having a great speech. Remember that your speech is not about you only. You are not delivering it for you. So always involve the audience, like what DTM Hazem said, involve your audience in your speech, make them part of it. So even in the table topic, your speech, it's about them, not about you. Even if you are sharing your own story, they need to be related to it. Be confident and enjoy it. Because if you will not enjoy it, no one will enjoy it. People will feel the vibes. Again, I will refer to Toastmaster Hazem. People will feel the energy of your speech. If you are afraid, they will not like it. They will be afraid too. If you are happy, they will be enjoying it. So be confident and enjoy it. I don't think we have time, so we'll not try it together, but we can practice it later together. I was putting for you as a topic that will, like, let's see. Later, maybe we can have one day, try it together, and we will have a panel of discussion later. So thank you so much, everyone. And back to our amazing MCs. Please this time say she, not he, and enjoy the contest, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very
Back
much,
to you.
DTM Arija, for the table topic speech presenter. As her speech ended like beautiful stars aligned, you are so amazing and sophisticated as well. Thank you very much for that splendid presentation.
Thank
Partner.
you. There you have it, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. We have just witnessed the wits of our presenters this morning, starting off with the judging and the 4 speech category presenters. And now I think, partner, we are now ready for the panel discussion or the question and answer portion. So for our audience, if you have any questions, you may now raise your virtual hands and we will acknowledge you to raise your questions.
Right.
So we have 15 minutes to do this session.
We are not seeing hands. Is this a raised hand by the Area 19 Director, TM
Toastmaster Dinesh. Can we please unmute Toastmaster Dinesh, Area 19 Director.
Good evening to one and all. First of all, thank you to all the presenters who presented the workshop, and especially the humorous for the Hannan Halus, my question. In the ballot, it is showing that I'm sure it is, don't exact remember the number, 10 or 15 marks for the audience response. In our contest, since the online, we are switching off the videos of the audience. So how it would be considerate, or what you suggesting?
I think we are
You got my
referring to
question?
the humorous speech presenter or the judges.
Yes.
Anyone can answer?
Is this question for me?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think this question has to be targeted to the DTM Annie Lobo. But for me, since it's only 15 out of 55 for the content, you need to make sure that there are enough jokes in your speech for you to evoke laughter. Now, you have to have this common sense that this joke, I'm sure people will laugh about it. So you have to be confident about your jokes. Try it with different people, with friends from different cultures, Arabs, Indians, foreign people. You try it. And if all of them laugh, then your jokes are great. Now, how to consider it? That's a question you have to ask DTM Anil Lobo.
So
Thank
maybe
you.
we
So
can
I will put another question for you, Toastmasters Hannan Halus. It is different between the Anil and you both. DTM Anil clearly told that Toastmasters doesn't restrict to speak or spoke about the religion, community, sex. And you strictly presented in your presentation, as we know, humor comes mostly on that subject only people are using. I would not say come, but people are using the humor or joke on that particular thing, either the race, religion, or the community. So what is the correct way? You telling it should not be used, and DTM Anil telling Toastmasters International doesn't restrict that one.
Maybe DTM Anil can give his feedback on the question raised by Toastmaster Dinesh. 15% of the criteria.
Maybe he not muted, unmuted, or anything.
Can we have the IT team to unmute this?
I didn't see DTM Anil. Where is
Can I answer this, Toastmaster Dinesh?
Yes, go ahead, please.
As mentioned by DTM Anil, this is only a restriction for our District 20 because this is according to our culture and the community. If you remember in my winning speech, I talked about men, right? And also in my humorous speech in 2021, I also spoke about what men, I wanted to kill them. So again, you can always play around so that it's not inappropriate to anyone. Play around, be smart about the way you deliver your topic so that nobody will feel offended, but in the same time, they will laugh about it. Right? I hope I'm clear, but again, it's your common sense, how you see it, how you play it, and how you deliver it.
Thank you, Toastmasters Hanan, Halush.
Any more questions?
While waiting for the others to ask their questions, I have a question to Toastmaster Hazim. Can we unmute Toastmaster Hazim, Al-Alawi?
Please.
Hi, Toastmaster Hazim. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, gentlemen?
We were great, actually. So my question is, in as much as we would like to deliver a powerful speech to impact the audience, is it more important to deliver a speech that should impact the judges?
Okay, very good and tricky question. I think the judges are part of the audience. So we don't know who will be a judge. We only know that they have that judging criteria ballot in front of them. Now, I personally do things a little bit different. I do not emphasize too much on the judges ballot. I like a speech to be for the audience and consider that the judges are part of the audience. And if they love it, if they relate to it, if they are entertained by it, you will get the marks. It's so tricky to fabricate and make a speech in accordance to the judges' ballot. It's going to be mechanical, not completely true, not reflecting what you would say in a normal setting. So just to reiterate, speak to the people if you want to be the champion amongst the people. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hazim. Any other questions from the audience?
I have a question.
Welcome, DTM Hanan.
Yeah, I would like to ask DTM Hisham Jeffrey. I'm an admirer because I remember when you won the evaluation contest, the way you analyzed the speech was amazing. So how can we train ourselves to be analytical thinker? And really, within we see, we are already nervous and we are now seeing and watching that speech. How can we practice and train our mind to be that analytical in order for us to give the best evaluation? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for that great question. And my answer to that is twofold. Number one, the preparation for evaluation that many people do is they assume it is the same as table topics, but it is not. Because as I mentioned in my presentation, the evaluation contest for an evaluator is very stressful because your speaking order really matters. Apart from other contests, the speaking order really matters. If you're evaluator 1 or evaluator 8, it has a significant impact on the way you present. That's number one. Number two, you can't control the test speaker. Number three, you're pressured in that 5 minutes. That 5 minutes is some of the most stressful time that you would ever have. Then you go to an isolation room and you really don't know what will happen there. It may be a nervous sergeant at arms. You may not have chairs to sit. The AC may not be working. The internet may not be working. A variety of different things can happen. So the amount of uncontrollables on the day of the contest is significant. So what I try to do is I try to prepare for the evaluation contest at every given opportunity during the year. So even if I'm given a club evaluation, I prepare as I would deliver it in the contest. So there are certain meetings where I tell myself, okay, today I'm going to prepare as if I am evaluator number 1. So I take the evaluation sheet, I look at the speaker, I write my notes only for 5 minutes, I leave it aside, and then that's it. I will come to deliver the club evaluation. Some other days I tell myself, okay, I'm evaluator number 3. So I have 10 minutes to prepare. So that has really, really helped me. And I try to evaluate every possible thing. If I'm listening to a song in the car, I try to ask myself, okay, is the vocal variety good? Why is this wording nice? Because a real secret to evaluation is the tag team, the timer, the R counter, and the grammarian. Doing these 3 roles has really helped me to understand at which point in time and what word that has been used, or the lack or the presence of crutch words. It informs us as to the preparation of the speaker. So with evaluation, my true belief is that it's a muscle, it's a mindset, and it's an attitude that you exercise every day at every given opportunity, so that on the day, it's just another evaluation. You have an excellent model, you simply apply it, because it's not a wedding, it's not a funeral, no baby is being born, it's a speech, and you deliver the best evaluation possible. So try it every day, and I think that on the day, you will really deliver very well. I hope that answers your question.
Witty answer, as always, DTM Hisham. I think Toastmaster Hazem has something to say.
Yeah, I have a question, if I can. I want to ask DTM Hisham Jeffrey as well. Preparing for the international speech at the district level, you are preparing one delivery that's going to compete in 2 levels of the contest. So my question is, how do you account for different audiences and different judges? We know that at district level, and so many spoke about it, we have a certain flavor. And then at the next level, at the region, there's another flavor. So I want to see, and I want to know what DTM Hisham perspective is about this, please.
So this impacts the international speech and not the evaluation, which is the subject of my workshop, but let me address it as well. And my honest answer to it is, I honestly don't know, because what we do, and I have always said that one of the greatest blessings of my life is to be able to come to Bahrain and experience Bahrain Toastmasters according to this legacy that we have. Had I done it back home, I would not get the benefit that I have gotten. It has been amazing learning, and what I have learned from Bahrain Toastmasters, truly I will not get anywhere else. The way we evaluate and our expectations of the speakers is here. And sometimes when I look at the semifinals, I wonder that they would never get through the District 20 judging. So when a district speech, international speech, is being presented number 1 for the district contest and number 2 to go to the regionals, it is one significant challenge. And I firmly believe, it's probably even more challenging than the semifinals itself, because you know precisely who the audience is going to be. So my way of trying to prepare for that is, I try as much as possible to look at speeches that have been delivered at other districts, listen to workshops that come from other districts, especially in this virtual environment is possible, and try to populate my mind with all those expectations. So if your club speech is this much, your area is this much, your division is this much, your district speech is probably this much. And then when you come to the semifinals, the message goes back to this much. And then your international comes down even narrower. Because if you look at the World Champion of Public Speaking speech, it's a very simple and straightforward message, which says, write your own speech. But if that simplicity and that story had been delivered at the district level, at District 20, he may not have passed through, because the way we look at vocal variety, the way we look at stage positioning, and the high expectations that we have of our speakers is different. So the honest answer, I am still looking for the answer. And my honest feeling, the day it happens, it's going to be the day I find the answer. So I believe there is no one exact answer, but a speech where the stars align on that particular day I think because the margins are so low, the margins are so narrow, I believe that is what will take it across. There is nowhere where it is mentioned, this is what we expect for the region, this is what we expect for the district. It is a matter of betting on a blind way. So even if we look at the consistency from club to club, area to area, division to division, district to district, champion to champion, who wins and comes through is different. So when we look at a flavor, there is really no one answer. My approach is hope, pray, prepare, and then deliver the best possible thing, leave it all on stage, and believe that it is the best and good enough to win. I hope that answers your question, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hazem and distinguished Toastmaster Hisham. I would like to acknowledge Toastmaster Hazel D'Souza.
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator. Basically, my question is for DTM Hisham, and this is in regards to the evaluation contest. So basically, when we are evaluating the target speaker, how do we write notes constructively? Like, for example, how do we listen to the speaker well and also write the notes constructively, which will help us to remember them later on when we refer to them? So this is my question.
Okay. That's a great question. Thank you, Toastmaster Hazel. It's nice to speak to you again. And again, writing the notes is a skill that you've got to decide way before you go on to the evaluation contest. And that is a lesson that I took. Because if I hold the pen in that 5 minutes and now I decide, okay, what I'm going to write, it's going to be a terrible thing. At least it has been a terrible experience for me. And then the pen gets stuck, my hand is sweaty. It's a real problem for me. So I have always decided, whether it is physical or virtual, wherever it is, I will have only 2 pieces of paper, because that's the maximum and minimum that I will get. So 2 pieces of paper, khalas, end of story. I will have 2 pens. Both of them are blue color. So that decision is made for me. I know 100% this is what I will do. And what I generally do is I write the strengths on one side, the to be improved on the other side. And during the 5 minutes, then I'm thinking about, okay, out of these strengths and out of these to be, what am I going to pick? How do I put it together? So some days I'm writing more notes during the 5 minutes. Some days I'm comfortable with what I have written and then I'm looking at the preparation. Some days the speech has gone and I'm looking for, okay, now how am I going to do the analysis? The speech is so good. Some days there is a lot more recommendations and I'm thinking, okay, how do I word the recommendation in such a way that the speaker will feel uplifted? So the note taking, again, is a discipline that I try to do every time I do an evaluation. So every club evaluation that I do, I have 2 pieces of paper, 2 pens, and I take the notes as if I would do that in the contest itself. So then it is nothing new on the day of the contest. And that really, really helps me. So my main thing is I try to reduce the number of decisions that I have to make on the contest day. I know exactly how I will go, what I will have for breakfast, what I will wear. Those decisions I take so that on the day, I try as much as possible to sleepwalk my way to that particular contest. Because most often, what's the first contest of the day early morning on a Friday? It's evaluation. So if I'm taking a million decisions to come to the contest, then I'm already stressed. So the speaker's opening and the body may have gone through and I'm still thinking, oh, there was not enough coffee in my sugar. Don't want that happening. So my advice is, if you want to use mind mapping, if you want to use a different type of pen, if you want to use a pencil, whichever it is, experiment now. Try and find the method that works for you because it works for you. It doesn't work for anybody else. So then you would be able to recall what's being written because it is in an order and our brain likes the order. So you will be able to close your eyes and visualize what you have written, and it should be used as a tool, not as a crutch. Writing, remember, we are all here to become speakers, not to become readers. So the note, in my opinion, or the way I use it, is that the notes should be something that helps you. It should not, the absence of it should not hold you from delivering an absolutely world-class presentation. And I'll give you something that happened to me. The first time that I qualified for DTAC, I was speaker number 1. I know, right? Speaker number 1. And the speaking notes were taken by the Sergeant at Arms, of course. And till this day, I have not received the notes back. So my very first day, my very first time at DTech, my very first evaluation was delivered impromptu because my notes were taken and I've still not got it back. So things can happen, things will happen. Your success depends on how you react to all of those things that happen. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Hisham Jifri, for that informative answer in response to TM Hazel D'Souza's query. And he's being acknowledged. We have one question from the area director, Toastmaster Mariset. The floor is yours.
Hello.
Please open your camera.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I cannot. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I have a question. It can be addressed also to DTM Anil or any one of the presenters. Speaking of notes, also now the judges, are they being like influenced whether the evaluators will be holding their notes? Will it affect their judging? If the evaluation contestants are holding their notes while delivering their evaluation, so will it affect their judging criteria or the judging decision if the contestant, but say for example the content was like very good content of the evaluation, but the contestant is holding notes, so how it will affect the judge's decision? That's my question. Thank you.
As per the judging criteria, whether you use notes or don't use notes is not relevant, but this is something that the judges have to look across the table. If one or two speakers were using notes and you're going to say that I'm going to dock 2 points for every time you're holding notes, then you have to be consistent all through. But you cannot just say, oh, I'm going to allow this speaker to have notes, that one not to have notes. Or you can just say that's not relevant. Now it's all depending on how you're going to give the points. But in practice, as per the norms, you can use notes. In fact, they tell you, you have a slip of paper, you can take notes and refer to your notes when you're giving your evaluation speech. But the same thing, if you're having international speech or humorous speech and you refer to notes, it's definitely going to be docking points because that is not prepared. So the preparation is not there. I hope that has answered you from the judging perspective. Now let's see what maybe feedback you'll get from the evaluation contest preparation.
Thank you, DTM Anil, and that was a very, very insightful piece of information. And I remember this question being asked 7 years ago in one of the first evaluation workshops that I attended. And my answer to that is always, this is a tool. How well you use it will determine how far you go. So for me, I always try to take that piece of paper and not make it a crutch. So it is a point of pride for me to try as much as possible to have the evaluation in my head, because that is the skill that we want to develop. Now, on the Friday of the contest, that skill does not come. It has to be practiced all day, every day at the club or at evaluation practices that you do. So if you truly enjoy the skill and the art of evaluation, and you truly enjoy giving value to the speaker, then the evaluation will flow. That 3 minutes, it will flow, but it has to be practiced. As we saw international speech champion, 1,000 rehearsals. That's what allows the naturality of the delivery to come through. So I would try my best to minimize my use of notes. Do I use it? Yes. But the way I use it is a little different. I would not want to have this big piece of paper blocking my body or the way that I deliver and blocking my gestures. So I try to use it as much as possible as a tool and not as a crutch. In other words, if the paper is taken away from me, which it has been, I still should be able to deliver 90 to 95% of the evaluation that I wanted to give. So if you hold yourself to that standard on the 364 days of your practice, then on day 365, those 3 minutes and 29 seconds will not be determined by the use or not use of an A4 paper. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hisham. And I think we have a question again addressed to you from our timer, Toastmaster Allah. So what to say if it is hard to find or mention the area of improvements in the speaker? So how do you
Yes.
say it?
So there are no perfect speakers. There are no perfect speakers. And one of the best examples I have seen is the 2001 world champion of public speaking, Darren LaCroix. After he delivered his speech, his world championship winning speech, he delivered it again at the National Speakers Association. And he says that delivery was better than my world championship delivery. There is no perfect speech. There is no perfect speaker. There is always something we can do to make any speech better. Because if you are perfect, then that's going to be a really boring life because there is nothing more exciting to look like. You've already reached perfection. You're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. What a boring life. So there is always some small thing that can be done for evaluation. Either the speaker might have been speaking a little too fast or a little too slow, or might not have been smiling, or might not have been using the facial expressions, or the usage of the stage, or the usage of the gestures, or something as simple as your eye contact with the camera. There is always something to improve. Now, if we look at the foundation for this question, how can I find something to recommend if the speech has nothing to recommend? It means that we need to go deeper and wider and broader into speech evaluation, speech crafting, and speech structure. Because remember, Toastmasters is 97 years old and it is this much. Public speaking and leadership is this much. It has been around for thousands and thousands of years. From Socrates to Aristotle to Seneca, public speaking has been around for millennia. We will never be able to cover everything there is in public speaking. So from the art of rhetoric to how to win friends and influence people, there has been so much written about so much in speaking that we will never truly be able to absorb everything. So if we have the attitude of the student, I will learn more and more and more and more and more, and then some more about evaluation, you will always find some gift to be able to give to the speaker. In summary, think of the speaker as your favorite son, daughter, grandson, or uncle, and it's their birthday. Even if it is their 999th birthday, you will never say, I gave you 999 presents, I can't give you one more. You will still give one more 1000th present. So have that attitude, I will give something, I'm determined to give you something, some toffee, some cake, some ice cream, not diabetes. And if you are able to do that, then definitely there will be some room, some amount of improvement that you can recommend. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, DTM Shah. Now we are down to the last question, and it is being asked by Toastmaster Nuha. And here it goes. How efficient is to bring international judges when they might not understand the cultural relevant topics? I think it is being addressed to the judges or to the judging presenter.
Could you repeat the question? I didn't hear it clearly.
So we all know that the table topics, evaluation, and humorous are district level. How efficient is to bring international judges when they might not understand the cultural relevant topics?
In fact, this is a very relevant thing. When you're selecting, and this is where the chief judge is going to be, has to be very discreet about it. When you're selecting a panel of judges, you have to make sure, number one, they have the expertise and the experience of judging at that level, especially when you're judging at area, division, and district level. Second thing is look at the cultural and linguistic challenges. For humorous speech, this is very relevant because there are a lot of jokes that are made which are cultural. So you have to have a variety of judges. If you say, I'm going to have only English speaking judges, and you might have a contestant from, say, Bahrain or from Kuwait, who has a joke which is very familiar with the Arabic audience. And if the joke will fall flat and they will lose a lot of points. So that's like a bias that comes in because your judges are not from all ethnic groups. So you have to make sure that it's properly balanced. The third thing, you have to look at the language skills. It's an English level contest. So make sure the judges have the proficient level of English that they can understand the vocabulary, the grammar, the syntax. So let's not just be selective and say, oh, it's an English contest, only English judges. We're not going to have Filipino judges. We're not going to have Indian judges. We're not going to have Arabic judges. Just going to have English speaking judges, British and American citizens. No, that's not going to be valid. So it's a very big challenge, especially for international speech, but equally important for table topics, evaluation, and humorous speech also. So selection of judges is a very important criteria. I hope that's answered your question.
I think it does. Thank you very much, DTM Anil. And DTM Khalid will be asking our
final question.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Final question, because we are already
DTM Arish and DTM Hanan. The floor is
Thank
yours.
you. Thank you so much, Master of Ceremony. Just to involve the other presenters, I thought of maybe having them also on board. I have one question for DTM Arish. It's called Unprepared Speech Contest. Table topics is unprepared. Is it true? Can we prepare for table topics? That's the first question. The other question is for Toastmaster Hanan. Humorous speech contest. Now, all of us sometimes come into this phase where we don't feel like we are there to give a humorous speech contest during the morning of the contest itself. So how to deal with that? Over to you, both of the presenters.
Thank you, DTM Khalid, for your question. And regarding the table topic, is unprepared speech because you don't know the topic. But at the contest, you need to be fully prepared for it. And as I said in my workshop, that if you will have like a notebook or wherever you want to store, put general topics and prepare for it. For example, about maybe Toastmasters, and then put all the stories that comes to your mind, write it down or keep it inside your head. You will be fully prepared. When any question will be asked to you, you will be able to answer it. It's very important to practice the table topic. Don't say that, it's just a table topic. Like I heard this word a lot. It's just a table topic. You don't need to prepare for it. No, you do need to prepare for it. Everything you need to prepare for it. Evaluation, table topic, humorous, international, tall tale, folk tale, storytelling, everything you need to prepare for it. So for table topic, just put any story comes to your head, put it down, write it, put it under the category you have in your notebook. Later, when you will be asked the question or the quote will come to you, your mind is already stored with all the memories, with all the things, with all the stories, and you will be able to answer any question very easily. The most important thing is to know how to say it, which is hook, body, call of action, and conclusion. This is the only thing, like prepare your mind, make it always ready, and just learn the technique of how to prepare the speech when you are delivering it. Hope I answered your question, DTM Khalid.
Toastmaster Hanan.
Now, yeah, concerning the question for the humorous speech, thank God that usually the humorous speech is either conducted in the afternoons or at night, because again, we need people to wake up. They are ready to laugh. We don't want to surprise them with our humorous early in the morning. Nobody will laugh. So I think with the great planning done by the club, by the area, by the division and the district, I've always seen, at least for the previous, since I've joined Toastmaster, always the humorous speech is being conducted in afternoons or in the evening, or it is kept till the end, because again, you need people to be ready. Now they are relaxed. They've listened to the evaluation contest, the table topic or the international, and they want to laugh now. It's time for us to relieve ourselves from the stress. So how to prepare? Supposedly, accidentally, humorous speech is the first one. Again, I'm back to taking control of your speech. When people feel that you are having fun and you are joining yourself and smiling, it is contagious. People will have fun with you. So be ready. You never know. Maybe one day the district officials will decide to have the humorous speech early in the morning, 8 a.m. or something. Be always ready. Put a smile with your previous preparations and take control. And that's the key to winning the hearts of people before winning their minds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There you have it, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. I think you should have a contest for the best smiling face.
And 3, 2, 1.
Smile!
Right.
We would like to thank all our presenters this morning. Toastmaster Hazim Al-Alawi,
DTM Arish Jafar,
Toastmaster Hanan Halush,
and DTM Hisham Jifri.
of course, DTM Anil Lobo.
And with that,
we would like to present the certificates of appreciation to all of you guys. Maybe request from the IT.
You can start. Go ahead. I'll show
Iti,
up the
please go
names
ahead.
that you called for.
okay. So let's start with
Distinguished Toastmaster Anil Lobo. Okay, the certificate of appreciation is presented to DTM Anil Lobo for imparting valuable insights during the judging and chief judge workshop, signed by DTM Khalid Abdullah, Program Quality Director, and MB Reddy, Division Air Director. Thank you so much.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, DTM Anil Lobo, our judging and chief judge workshop presenter. Next in line, we have DTM Arish Jafar. Okay, we will follow this sequence. So our Toastmaster Hazim Al-Alawi.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was going to be Hazim or what?
All right.
I think
he is becoming now.
Then we have Distinguished Toastmaster Hisham Jifri.
Thank you very much, DTM Hisham Jifri, and we will have Toastmaster Hana Halush.
Thank you so much. And finally, thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Arish Jafar. Dear presenters, thank you so much for gracing this morning with all your presence. It was such an amazing experience with your valuable insights and inputs for all of these speeches that you have shared with us, partner.
And definitely, District 20 will never be the same without you. District 20 will be a formidable and a force to reckon with during the regional competitions.
Yes,
So,
I think we are now ready for the contest. But remember, partner, it's not always about winning. There's no such thing as losing. It's only winning or learning.
I agree, definitely.
So with that,
ladies and gentlemen, with the 49 attendees at the moment, we are still inviting you to please register to the second segment for tonight, for today's affair.
For the Chief Judges Workshop this afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, dear friends, this has been Toastmaster Ricky.
And this has been Toastmaster Jeffrey De Vera Aquino saying thank you.
Goodbye and see you later.
And 1, 2, 3,
smile!
And the winner is...
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.
Well done, both
Bye-bye.
MCs, presenters. Thank you very much. See you in afternoon.
Great presentation.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Shukriya, shukriya.